Unless it's a person who join politics. If he wants to join politics, he should let us know. Next time, then we deal with him as a politician. But today, you be man say or you suffer.
Nana, Mr. Abuachi, today you are advocating. Today you are becoming a motivational speaker. Onyankupo hatas rebi or left intra. Eduabano, Eduaba papano, Eduaba bonina. Uye campaign na okachi mu ding etre Ghana for no. Ure fi say Eduaba papa na o man to me 8 years no. Oya kwata. Na onim se Chebi Hospital, there was no can machine there. Mo in Konyana motesuno and then a bed judge mo. On send you are in the UK. You are receiving treatment at a hospital. For 8 years, I have here kesiene kasa kesiene mutine mo Ghana. Inscription a kesiene flag a kesiene siso. En kasetiane ayampia any attention na wudie. Ufrantuma na otie kurase, Mr. Abuachi. And de na enim because we busuani a wise a bossomedi president inti ya. At a point, look at just say ya be informa. Whoa, Mr. Abuachi. And the way frantuma ka slangs. Okochi taxi ma otwago over slangs. Na abosom na yedi usi omoso no yeso slangs. The Chebi Hospital needs a mechanical machine and tia break na ka de tia se the eduabano na o kan twi. So you hine se be de anim na musuomra yeso ase you se be kansam mampuntumra abrabom. Edian hine na yedi ni sa no. Ah? Edian hine na yedi ni sa no. Wo na wo ma santemai say otufo. Wo na wo say santemai o tom. Ebi omon kan kire o asantemai say e ye wo otufo na otufo te wo na ye see sebio wo na nanom o baaye no sa ankwase asem we komo so ankenda akonwa kase we enkeda ho mo so nsemfo so dodo ye bu akonwa nim tia na ye so nyoma so otufo you have limited power. You have limited power. Asante is nothing. See 2 million asante biem 2 million ni menhia biem me se nyumbem no kase ko omoto wo num wi ekufo ade bonano one agric minister ai otu for guest amonko omguo
na den sampa wo so ewi e de akoko to chere me yabua ne fam
so
o kwani kroma na regional minister bi atro se security yem anokwan
so
de onya hine de amana kwa mo no na de onya hine na fa kro na fa
na de onya hine no na fa kro na fa so ma ba sima fa kan kwa na mo
oh minister for come
Minister
for come. Ena police penny no regional minister or police penny no minister for local government work ho minister for interior wo nyaka ka ho ne sampa mo kwa akwachi nipa so ya na mo akwachi fa na regional minister na Fred Judge holiday no afre say one remand wo yeah
pasa na eni mo
na me ka kire no wone ne nkrofo anya minister mre ye ninka so why ene mo anya tumi nti mo mfanya de mo pe
tumi na ba abedi musam nti no mo pe bia mfanya
why na sampa hini wonwu krono so na di obekọ ho nso.
Some of them has been transferred to the north. I mean, just to serve, I mean, as a kind of punishment for them, so that when they realize that what they did was wrong, and they bring them back to Accra.
Even that apology is bogus, because how do you apologize and say it has come to my attention? You've opened your mouth to say something, you are apologizing and say it has come to my attention. Didn't you know what you said? Parliament did us a great disservice by not vetting her.
We should ask the minority.
Because
why?
Because I think I would have seen all of these things. And
My dear, this is not news. I mean, every election there's a vote buying. I mean, so if we are buying votes, they should also buy their votes. I mean, it's Greater Accra. Greater Accra is for the gas. I mean, how can we sit in Greater Accra and expect Wezo? Wezo is for the voters.
Yes, no. Only in the Only politics in my politics. Unless it's a person who join politics. Or my if he wants to join politics, he should let us know. Next time, then we deal with him as a politician. But today, you be man say or you suffer.
Nana, Mr. Abuachi, today you are advocating. Today you are becoming a motivational speaker. Onyankupo hatas rebi or left intra. Eduaba papano, Eduaba bonina. woyɛ campaign na woka twie mu ɔden ɛkyerɛ Ghana for no wure fi sɛ eduaba papa na o man to me 8 years no oya kwata na onim sɛ Chebi Hospital there was no can machine there mo nkonwa na mote no ene na be judge mo on send there you are in the UK you are receiving treatment at a hospital for 8 years ahimfia kɛseɛ ne cars akɛseɛ na motene mu Ghana inscription akɛseɛ ne flag akɛseɛ ne siso enkasetia ne ayampia ene atanie na wudie ufrantuma na otie kurase Mr. Boache ena de na enim because wabusuani a wayesa bosom di president nti ya at a point uka just say ya beifo ma wo Mr. Boache ena we frantuma aka slangs wakotwi taxi ma oto ago wo be kire slangs na abosom na yede usi omo no yeso mo slangs. The Chebi Hospital needs a mechanical machine and tia break na ka de tia se eduaba no na o kan twi so you hine se be de anim na musuomra so ase you se be kansam mampuntumra abrabom ede hine na yedi ni sa no ede hine na yedi ni sa no wo na wo ma santeman say otufo wo na wo se santeman o tom obi o mon kan kire wo asanteman say na ye wo otufo na otufo te wo na yesi sebio wona nanom o mo baaye no sa nkwase asem we komo so ankenda akonwa kase we enkeda ho mo so nsemfo so dodo ye bu akonwa nim tia na ye so nyoma so otufo you have limited power Asante is nothing say 2 million asante biem 2 million ni menhia biem me say nyumbem no kase ko omo to onum wi ekufo ade bona no one agric minister ai otufo gesa omonko omguo
na den sampa wo so ebi e dia kokko to chere me yabua ne fam o kwani kroma na regional minister bi atwo se security yam anokwan de onya hine dia amanokwan mo no na de onya hine na fa kro na fa
na de onya hine no mo na afa kro na mo ma ba sima fa kan ko na mo
minister for kam minister for kam ana police penyin na wo regional minister or president minister for local government waka ho minister for interior wo mya aka ho ne sampa mo kwa akwachi nipa ya na mo akwachi fa na regional minister na fresh judge holiday no afre say one remand wo na
pasa na eni mo
na me ka kire no wone ne nkrofo anya minister mre ye ni nkaso why ene mo nya tumi nti mo mfanya de mo pe
tumi na ba abedi musam nti no mo pe bia mfanya
why na sampa hini wonwu krono so na di obekọ ho nso.
Some of them has been transferred to the north. I mean, just to serve, I mean, as a kind of punishment for them, so that when they realize that what they did was wrong, and they bring them back to Accra.
Even that apology is bogus, because how do you apologize and say it has come to my attention? You've opened your mouth to say something, you are apologizing and say it has come to my attention. Didn't you know what you said? Parliament did us a great disservice by not vetting her.
We should ask the minority.
Because
good evening and welcome to this edition of Good Evening Ghana. I'm Fati Banda. Political discourse or personal interest? That is the question at the heart of this segment. Tonight, we are analyzing a viral clip where Efia Pokua takes the NDC and the government to task over recent comments concerning Linda Oklo and the former president, John Agyekum Kufuor. She also takes us on a trip down memory lane. She invokes the name of the former president, John Agyekum Kufuor, challenging today's politicians to look back at his brand of leadership. Is the silence from public channels a sign of approval, or is it time for an apology? Watch this.
I mean, over the last 48 hours, a so-called agent of NDC, Abekasa Sopa, President Kufuor, at the President Kufuor term, they said the area credit President Kufuor term. I'm expecting the nobles, the Democrats, letting them say, enka omubenya akukudru na omatia se nipa kro no say enye ena ya na me ka se nipa no oye NDC agent a na ko say ya na NDC agent onye wa NDC agent because over election period ni aye ni hu nipa is we did atem mam NDC o did atem that are news to your benefit okasa mo na munya ho mfaso and subsequently you who kasa mo interaction mo ne nanya say nipa no ye munipa and it's onipa way to meet sin na no ne 32 it may be did the President Kufuor term serious and 48 hours have gone by. Nobody in any has issued a formal apology or has directed the so-called person say Omra no make President Kufuor. Kudos to Minyabema Captain Smart, because Captain Smart did an awesome job. Say no, we dear Atra, you must apologize. Sebi President Kufuor and yet just or yet former President Keko or sign a widower. Hey, President Kufuor sign your widower or your kunafo. He has left power almost 20 years near President Kufuor free power. On can will be unprovoked, unwarranted, unjustified, crass, bullish language. Now they are bad. Didi Papa we at him. Over the last month, then President Kufuor, the man has not even been in active politics. He said, Papa, we retire. Almost 20 years in your free power. 2008, almost 20 years in it. We retired to the baby. Uncle Kaobia, what your brief, on in nana no sorry, I no mo lunch, mo dinner. To the point, and I think that Disability Association of Ghana, you people should talk, because it's not the first time. Stonebwoy has been a victim. Stonebwoy has been a victim. My branch is where did this Stonebwoy attempt in the area? This attack on President Kufuor, this unwarranted attack, this unwarranted abuse, this unwarranted, unprovoked, unmerited, by a so-called agent of Mono, you must call the person to order. You must call the person to order. Just say, Adjumoni was a nipa wait, mama, the hatred in his heart for some particular people, need to know. It was said, Obibo President Kufuor, Abasoka, and again, also Bamno Becassetia Papa, unprovoked, or Teddy Baby or General. Just because Nano Mebeca said President Kufuor, idea said, vision, and more cotty Gridco. So that Gridco will be the subsidiary between ECG and VRA. And no anti Nibuafu also quite attacking President Kufuor. Again, make us there's an agenda against a particular group of people. I can't man for that benna Obiko ye otunfo. PZ for Semba, yeah, PZ for She, yeah, as citizen of Ghana, they were appealing to a government. So, this person insulted them to a more don't on you. No more country or more hineno till, and the video is there. And I'm shocked when people are coming and at the Ben Odi way at them. Hey, selective amnesia. Ghana, no wonder say catch say or short memory. No, the NDC, the onus is on you. The ball is in your court. 48 hours a chum. No apology, no condemnation of the attack, nothing. We are waiting for National Democratic Congress NDC. We are waiting for government to apologize to President Kufuor or condemn the statement now, attack on President Kufuor, and dissociate yourself from the statement. NDC, me say the NDC government, we are calling on you. Say it's been 48 hours since the vile, crass, abusive, unprovoked attack on President Kufuor's person and his image, and even the attack to suggest that we're Riesika. President Kufuor Riesika or Riesika da ben unwarranted, defamatory abuse, defamatory attack on President Kufuor. NDC and government, we are waiting for you to condemn it, dissociate yourself from the person and the statement. 48 hours a chum. We are waiting on you people. We are waiting on you people. Again, President Rollins said you President Rollins and Yakupon Fanny Crane say President Rollins were new President Kufuor age. Which and when you be answer them and I or Jaya. Shasenia Tanos, ya. Shasenia Ghana, you swing, be sitting there affiliated the whole type of Sanos. Say 18, President Kufuor age, and when Nubi, and wheelchair and when you be Montana and Okoye. We have lost great sons and daughters of this land. Aye, Nyan, Cardin, Yakupo, Montanas, and Montina wheelchair, Bupom Mayen. Nanya day. So we can benefit from their wisdom, baby. I would be a penny new few cry, and yes, I want a name size. You decide to abuse him. And you see, this is a narcissist. This person is a narcissist. I don't know, body nine Yakupon the man crash or baby on bill. Because then he proceeds to say that a friend a Brunia. A Brunia. Or your narcissist on your own be confident in ignorance, very confident in ignorance. He sits in ignorance, sleeps in ignorance, wakes up in ignorance. And can we see bia obianim yenim kra ah nanti gabrofo ya eni omote yetama hai and oh broni oti wi chemuda. But this is a person who doesn't the word physiology no kontiase o brade ma ontiase atimdidie mo kenkon.
Mommy, good morning.
Good morning, my son. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, Mom. How about you?
I'm fine.
Joe, I just saw your mom doing her usual morning routine. Like, it was just 2 weeks she underwent a major colon surgery.
Bro, see, my mom is doing perfectly fine, and we're all excited about it. It was minimally invasive surgery, and the recovery has been very fast.
Minimally? Hey! No, wait. What do you mean by that?
So they offered my mom a laparoscopic colon surgery. Laparoscopic colon surgery, which we accepted. It turned out it was equally safe with a very fast recovery time, and the cost involved too was very, very reasonable. She was discharged 3 days after the surgery, and you can see her, she's on her feet again.
3 days?
Just 3 days, bro.
Mean Tuber Hospital, first Ghana colorectal center, aimed to serve a peculiar health need.
Finding the ideal property shouldn't be a daunting task. At MNC Properties, we believe everyone deserves a place to call home. That's why we specialize in providing affordable housing options under our flagship project, Fresh Property Joy. Specifically designed for low and medium income earners. Our range of customizable homes includes 2 and 3 bedroom standard and executive options, all meticulously crafted using innovative interlocking brick technology. We understand the importance of simplicity and convenience in the acquisition process. That's why we have designed our procedures to be straightforward and hassle-free, offering flexible payment options tailored to your individual needs. In addition to our affordable homes, we proudly offer litigation-free lands for sale in vibrant and upscale communities that present the perfect opportunity to build your dream home. We are committed to making affordable housing a reality, providing you with the joy of owning a home that meets your budgets and aspirations. Whether you're looking to buy, rent, or invest, we've got you covered. Our service team is ready to assist you on 030-255-1917. MNC Properties.
Launching BSc Development Economics at the Ghana Christian University College. Study a job-ready university program, BSc Development Economics at the Ghana Christian University College. Job is ready for graduates who possess degrees and certificates in BSc Development Economics, professional certificate in Theoeconomy, certificate in Theoeconomy with business. Enroll at the Department of Theology and Economics at the Ghana Christian University College, Amrahia, Adenta Dodua Road, Accra. Full bursary is available for BSc Development Economics graduates to study master's program at a state university in South Africa. Enroll now. Take advantage of this opportunity to join elite professionals in economics. Call 0557-351-090 or 0575-633-307 or 030-296-0542. WhatsApp us on 0557-351-090 or you can get in touch online on www.theoeconomy.edu.gh. Powered by the Center for Theology and Economics, CTEC.
In my line of work, a confident smile is everything. Kel Chaco toothpaste keeps me on top of my game and ensures my smile is always radiant and bright.
With the tiring nature of my job, we spend several hours under the scorching sun. To keep our teeth white and our breath fresh all the time, we use none other than Kel Chaco toothpaste. Kel Chaco toothpaste. You're on a Kessie and in a kit one.
Samayo Kendini, a who be here, Sametra Sapapadia to a mammy manful. Kel Chaco's natural ingredients, and a bomb is so buying, a man is swing, and a sense of Mama Hotta so a will beg you.
Kel Chaco toothpaste.
Choose Kel Charcoal toothpaste for anti-cavity, whiter teeth, and fresher breath all day. Available in 80 gram and 150 gram. Grab yours today.
Kel, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
Launching. BSc Development Economics at the Ghana Christian University College. Study a job-ready university program, BSc Development Economics at the Ghana Christian University College. Job is ready for graduates who possess degrees and certificates in BSc Development Economics, professional certificate in Theoeconomy, certificate in Theoeconomy with business. Enroll at the Department of Theology and Economics at the Ghana Christian University College, Amrahia, Adenta Dodua Road, Accra. Full bursary is available for BSc Development Economics graduates to study master's program at the State University in South Africa. Enroll now. Take advantage of this opportunity to join elite professionals in economics. Call 0557 351 090 or 0575 633 307 or 030 296 0542. WhatsApp us on 0557 351 090 or you can get in touch online on www.theoeconomy.edu.gh. Powered by the Center for Theology and Economics, CTEC.
Hey buddy, it's me Azar.
Hey, me now they see. Hey, you don't look fresh. Oh.
Hey.
With your label today, me.
Wait till you see what's inside me.
Azar, freshly made inside and out for greater coverage and colors that last longer and beautify your walls, spaces and places. Azar, no size. Go ahead. Buy now. Azar, #1 from Azar Group since 1921.
It's time to believe in you. We are changing, so should you. If you're dreaming, don't be afraid. And in the valleys, keep your head up high. Dare to dream with Puma drinks. Puma, yeah. Believe it, you can achieve. Puma. Oh yeah, clap your hands for the whole new vibe. Make we set the bliss. Oh yeah, come alive. Let me hear you.
Puma drinks, a whole new vibe. Another quality product from Casa Precon.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Looking for comfort, convenience, and class all in one place? Welcome to Stay Easy Apartments on Conference Center, where modern living meets exceptional service. Whether you're staying for business or leisure, Stay Easy offers you a home away from home. Spacious and well-furnished apartments, pool, gym, and everything you need to relax and feel at ease. Planning a meeting, workshop, or special event? Our event ground and state-of-the-art conference center is designed to host your events and bring your vision to life. From corporate gatherings to private functions, we provide the perfect space, supported by modern equipment and a professional team ready to assist you. At Stay Easy, your comfort and success are our priority. Book your stay or reserve your space today. Call us at 020-739-1473 or 0244-226367. Stay Easy Apartments and Conference Center. Stay easy with us.
This Easter, Estate Masters Limited is giving you more reasons to celebrate in our extended Easter promo. Secure your dreamland at Nest Cottage, Chopoli with a massive 15% discount. Or choose Palm Hills, Gomwa Pamfukrom, also at 15% discount. And for lovers of the coast, Coastal Park, Ningo Prampram awaits you at 10% discount. Plus, enjoy free site visits and free documentation because we make land ownership simple. This Easter, don't just celebrate, invest in your future. Estate Masters Limited, your most preferred estate partner.
Can he tee up someone in red? And it goes to one.
Too much, sir!
That's who goes for.
What
After 5 champions league, you want to know?
I be the real goat, chairman.
Yeah,
I'm the real goat. The left magician, the left magician.
Who is the goat? Ghana Jollof or Nigeria Jollof?
Ghana Jollof has no co-equal. The smell alone. Oh my God.
No, that shift. You two the lie, eh? Now the same stew when they use cook the rice and then they go put them for top.
Hey, you are lying. Ghana Jollof.
Are you here? Forget everybody, yeah? My guy. Put some respect on the goat. On the goat? The only goat I know lives in Tama. Every year, we dey give to you back. We are talking about BET. I want some Yaji face. Except be the goat, huh? My guy, he be the goat.
Though our choice of goats may differ in football, music, and jollof, Alomo Bitters always brings us together. Alomo, experience greatness in every moment.
Drink responsibly. Not for sale to persons under 18, nor recommended to pregnant women. This advert is FDA approved.
Has issued a formal apology or
Welcome back. The spotlight shifts to the former Attorney General Godfrey Dame's future. After years at the center of Ghana's legal and political storm, he's finally confronted with the question that's been whispering through the corridors of power. What is his next move? He addresses his ambitions and, sometimes we keep asking ourselves, is he strictly a man of law or is he preparing for a new chapter of the Ghanaian politics? Let's watch this.
You've been around politics all your life. And I was just reminded before we started the conversation that I encountered you when you were a lawyer for AFAC. Do you have any ambitions of doing full-time politics?
Yeah, I think I was a founding member
of the AFAC.
Yes, the records. We incorporated it.
Yes.
At the Office of Registrar of Companies. So you go there.
Many other people you started with are now MPs, etc.
Dr. Ayu Afuye, Sami Ewuku,
all of them.
Kweku Kwati, and all that. Kabila.
Yeah. And here you are, still private legal practitioner.
Yes.
Do you have any ambitions to
also,
make that
I think that, so ultimately, it's God who directs and orders the affairs of men. And of course, I continue to be in politics, and the sky is the limit. So maybe we just in the beginning, and we leave it at that.
You become an MP maybe one day?
Oh, no, definitely not. I think,
no member of parliament?
I think I'm very clear in my mind about not being a member of parliament. I think that by the grace of God, we've had...
Presidential ambitions, maybe?
Well, the sky is the limit, as I said. I mean, ultimately, we'll see what the future holds. But of course, the good Lord always orders the steps.
I've noticed that you didn't rule out the presidential ambition when I asked.
So, we'll see. So
the headline will be Godfrey Dame
please.
will not rule out presidential ambition.
So we're committed to throwing our views fully to ensure...
I'm telling you the headline. So when you see, don't get surprised.
Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia is indeed elected the President of the Republic and assumed the reins of office on 7 January 2029. Mm-hmm. And I have no doubt at all that as we have seen an unfolding of the hypocrisy, contradictions, and manifest propaganda roll out before our eyes, the good people of Ghana will see that indeed they made a wrong choice on December 7, 2024.
Okay.
And they hope to repair that.
Godfrey, so thank you very much.
Finally, we look at the battle over accountability in this current administration. Godfrey Dame addresses the criticisms about the oral cases and the lawyers pushing them. He argues that these aren't just legal proceedings, but They are issues that the courtroom deals with and shouldn't be played about. According to him, the law needs evidence, not just promises as these politicians are doing.
Beyond the Hanan case, the current AG has been criticized on the progress of work with respect to the oral cases. From your point as a former Attorney General, do you think that these criticisms are fair?
Well, I don't know why in the first place a government ought to set an agenda or a policy as oral. Because clearly oral is a policy. It was part of the campaign.
Yeah, it was part of the campaign promises.
How can prosecution targeted at a political party be part of your campaign promise or campaign promise? It's definitely wrong.
They claim they had evidence of massive loot from members associated.
So they should unearth it. They should. So that is actually what has put pressure on him, if at all. And that's also perhaps what drove him to be making the press conference and all that and all. And I would not subscribe to that. I would not do that at all, because I never came to office with a mandate to prosecute any member of the NDC or any political opponent. I never came to office with a mandate to arraign before court persons belonging to the opposing political parties or political factions on the basis of perception of a loot. Definitely not. You come to office, you work with institutions of state that are in existence, whose work regularly it is to unearth corruption and all that. The police and all, every day they undertake prosecution. Obviously, prosecutor, they are there, charge, Yoko. If you charge and undertake some investigation which borders on corruption, they will refer the docket to the Attorney General in accordance with the Constitution. And then the Attorney General can refer to CID and all that to investigate.
So having a policy agenda going to fish for cases is not helpful.
But that is an issue. You cannot. So that actually shows some mischievous motive. You cannot have a motive for prosecution, which is grounded in a policy by your political party to prosecute members of the opposing political party on account of having, in your perception, looted some money, where you have not even started any investigation at all. You have not been in office, you have not seen anything, you have not been given official responsibility, you haven't assumed the reins of office. How do you know what the Director General of CID has? How do you know what the IGP has or what the OSP has? And then you shout oral and say that when you come, it's part of your
Wasn't
agenda.
that the reason they did a committee to now direct the attention of these investigative bodies?
So you made a promise to the people that you're going to, as one of your policies, you're going to have oral, and then when you come into office, you start working to fulfill it. Is it a construction project? If it's a construction project, you can look for money and build. In the same vein, if it's corruption that or oral that you say is your policy, it means you must necessarily find cases
someone
and jail. So that clearly puts a very bad motive to the prosecution from the outfit, and not ought to be countenanced in any democracy. So this whole oral policy, as far as I'm concerned, is driven by propaganda, and you see that as time goes on, I'm sure the cases, as they are unfolding, will start crumbling, and they'll crumble in a very spectacular fashion. And so, I mean, you cannot do that.
Let's end with that.
And how can you hold a press conference and cite a particular case as more or less a showpiece of your oral fight and all that, and say that this will be a Rambo in the jungle, it's going to be, it's very much untoward, completely untoward for the Attorney General to mount a press conference and state that this case is going to be like a Rambo in the jungle. What is it? Some kind of cinema?
My dear, this is not news. I mean, every election there's a vote buying. I mean, so if we are buying votes, they should also buy their votes. I mean, it's Greater Accra. Greater Accra is for the gas. I mean, how can we sit in Greater Accra and expect Wezo? Wezo is for the voters.
Yes, sir. No. Only in Sofosem. Only politics in my politics. Unless it's okay, so join politics. Or my if he wants to join politics, he should let us know. Next time, then we deal with him as a politician. But today, ye be man no say or ye soft.
Nana, Mr. Boachi, today you are advocating. Today you are becoming a motivational speaker. Onyankopo hata suebi o lefti intra. Eduaba no, eduaba papa no, eduaba boni na uye campaign na okatwi emu odin etre Ghana for no. Ure fi se eduaba papa na o man to me 8 years no. Oya kwata. Na onim se Chebi Hospital, there was no can machine there. Mo inkonya na moteso no ene na be jeje mo. On send you are in the UK. You are receiving treatment at a hospital. For 8 years, ahimfia kesiye ne kasa kesiye na mutine mu Ghana. Inscription a kesiye ne flag a kesiye ne siso. Enkasetia ne ayampia ene atenye na wudie. Ufrantuma na otie kurase, Mr. Boachi. Ena de na enim because wabusuani a wa esa bosomedi president nti ya. At a point uka just say ya be informa. Wo. Mr. Boachi. Ena we frantuma ka slangs. Wako taxi ma otwago obetre slangs. Na abosom na yede usi omoso no yeso slangs. The Chebi Hospital needs a mechanical machine and tia break na ka de tia ase the eduaba no na o kan twi. So you hine se be de anim na musuomra yeso ase you se be kansam mampuntumra abrabom. Ede hine na yedi ni sa no. Ah? Ede hine na yedi ni sa no. Wo na wo ma santemai say otufo. Wo na wo se santemai o tom. Ebi omon kan kire wo asantema say e wo otufo na otufo te wo na yesi sebio wo na nanom mo baaye no sa nkwase asem we komo so ankenda akonwa kase we enkeda ho mo so nsemfo so dodo ye bu akonwa nim tia na yesoso nyoma so otufo you have limited power. Asante is nothing. See 2 million asante biem 2 million ni menhia biem me se anyumbem no kase ko omoto wonum wi ekufu ade bonano one a Greek minister ai otufo gesa omonko omguo
na den sampa wo so ewi ye dia kokko to chere me ya bua ne fem o kwani kroma na regional minister bi atwo se security yem anokwan de onya hine dia amanokwan mo no na de onya hine no afa kro na fa na de onya hine no mo no afa kro na mo oh minister for come Minister for come. Ena principal you know regional minister or principal you know minister for local government work ho minister for interior wo nya aka ho ne sampa mo kwa akwachi nipa oh yeah na mo akwachi fa na regional minister na fresh judge holiday no afre say one remand wo yeah pasa na eni mo na me ka kire no wone ne nkrofo anya minister mre ye ninka so why ene monya tumi nti mo mfanya de mo pe tumi na ba abedi musam nti no mo pe bia mfanya why na sampa hini wonwu krono so na di mo be ko hon so.
Some of them has been transferred to the north. I mean, just to serve, I mean, as a kind of punishment for them, so that when they realize that what they did was wrong, and they bring them back to Accra.
Even that apology is bogus, because how do you apologize and say it has come to my attention? You've opened your mouth to say something, you are apologizing and say it has come to my attention. Didn't you know what you said? Parliament did us a great disservice by not vetting her.
We should ask the minority why.
Because I think I would have seen all of these things. And
Anyone who is in government today must listen. The MPP is not a walkover. They are a force. Anyone who is in government today must listen. The MPP is not a walkover. They are.
Anna, thank you very much for your time, viewers. It's always a pleasure to have you here. It's been a very busy Tuesday, and the lights is off in some parts of Accra, but I guess that you're watching on your phone in places in Labadi. I understand that power is being challenged. I hope they don't arrest me for saying Doomsaw is back. What a day Nana B and the General Secretary have had at the CID office, NPP headquarters, walking around to secure the release of a Ghanaian who complained about power outages, who was arrested for complaining about power outages. I can't believe that. Arrested for complaining about power outages. Arrested for publishing that Doomsaw is back. Arrested. Tonight we'll show you this. Social media actors have been working very hard. And we'll show you the guy who was abusive of everyone. I mean, I read it for the first time today. It's been published since 2022. I didn't know that he had called Akufo-Addo and other people such bizarre names. We really have to look at our politics and the gaining of currency of insults, and it doesn't build anyone. It doesn't help. And for those of you who are Muslims or Christians, you know that there's karma, isn't it? You know, whatever you reap is whatever you sow is whatever you reap. We should be careful about and being excited, but that an important person in society is being insulted. We are happy. We are happy. We are happy. I saw the kinds of words whether was used on Akufo-Addo. I mean, not once was anybody arrested. Akufo-Addo is a Democrat. You say what you want. He's going to deliver on his mandate. That's what he's focused on. And when you are president, you have privileges, and it comes with that. And when you're a government, you have privileges, and it comes with that. But then they come and arrest the guy in Agona. There's a lot for us to show. Tonight also we'll be celebrating the Blessed Archbishop Nicholas Duncan Williams, who is turning the big 69. Next year, the planning committee for the 70 is already in place. The commanding Papa will turn 70. Oh, what a day it will be, and what a year 2027 will be for the church in Ghana. The commanding Papa, the founder of the Christian Action Faith Ministries, will be turning 70 next year. A year from now, he'll be 70. Today, he's 69, and we'll celebrate him appropriately. Also, big stories coming up tonight. The economy. A big article has been written about the economy, about the 120 billion, is it? Or is it 12 billion? 120 billion already borrowed by the Ministry of Finance to resuscitate the economy, as it were. But the indicators always show very positive. I'll read that article in some detail, and then you get what I'm saying. Haruna Idrisu is switching camp from where he stood to another camp to strengthen a ticket against Johnson Asiedu Nketia. Asiedu Nketia is very powerful, you know, so there are a lot of permutations going on so that Asiedu will not be the flag bearer of the National Democratic Congress. Those of us who support Asiedu think that whatever they do, he will be, but we'll still share with you. It's a gist that we picked up this afternoon. Idrisu Haruna has shifted camp. But shifted camp from where? We'll tell you all of that in a minute. Also, we've been saying on this show, and I have had occasion to be challenged on political discussion programs where I have said that in 2027, the National Democratic Congress, the ruling party, will be going through a process for the first time in their history since 1992 to properly elect a presidential candidate. Mustafa Bande has confirmed that analysis, speaking to Onua TV. Mustafa Bande said that the NDC doesn't do that. They don't do that. When I said it, the NDC challenged me. Some of them challenged me that, no, they do contest. Tonight, we'll get back to the story. Apostle Opoku Onyina has been speaking. And again, he's saying the things that we've been saying. Sometimes when we tell our viewers that everything we say on Good Evening Ghana is true, there's nothing that we say that's not true. But we understand that some people cannot receive it. They are not happy with it one way or the other. But we give it time. Apostle Opoku Onyina, speaking at the 76th church service anniversary of the His Royal Majesty the Asantehene, said that J.B. Dankwa it was who brought Ashanti to Ghana because the British were going to have 3 different countries. They had the colony, which is the southern part of Ghana, Greater Accra, Central, Western, Eastern, a bit of Volta. And then they were going to have Ashanti Advisory Council. And then they had the Northern Territories. It was Dankwa's idea in the early to mid 40s that this will not work. Let's put together one Gold Coast. Dankwa traveled to Kumasi, spoke with the Ashanti Council, and told them to ignore the Ashanti Advisory Council. We put that in our film, the film that they said everything we said was bad. They said we are rewriting history. And we put it out in 2017. We got lambasted everywhere, in London, everywhere, that we are rewriting history. Today, 8 years after we put it out, Apostle Opoku Onyina is telling the church at the Asantehene's anniversary that it was J.B. Dankwa who created this. Is Kwame Nkrumah still the single founder of Ghana? We'll get there. You know, the other day, I just viewers, permit me to say this, okay? The other day I was speaking to one of my Nkrumah's friends, and we were talking about John Mahama's application to the United Nations for the reparations, and he was telling me that, in fact, all of them were saying that this attribution to John Mahama as being the sole author of this reparations is wrong, because Akufo-Addo started it, and Akufo-Addo took steps, major steps, including also announcing it to the United Nations. It was a process that President Mahama came to finish. And then I pulled their shirt. I said, this is what I've been telling you about Ghana's independence. It couldn't have been Nkrumah alone. It was Dankwa and others, Kingsley Hayford. They started it, Nkrumah ended it. So when we say Founders Day, that's which you've gone to Parliament to cancel. We were on the side of the truth of history. You were on the side of the lie, and the lie will never stand. Today, they've cancelled it. Another president will come and look at the history fairly and squarely and say that we certainly must have a Founders Day, like the United States of America has a Founders Day for 7 and more people, and they celebrate it. They were telling me that, but how can John Mahama claim that he did reparations? Akufo-Addo started it. How can Nkrumah claim that he won Ghana's independence? Kingsley Hayford started it. Anyway, that's an argument for another day. Today, we don't want to sweat it out. So we will be talking about that as well. And then, the Attorney General and arbitration in London, which was done differently under Akufo-Addo, saving the state significant amount of money. Now they are going back to the old system where they are getting their friends involved so that they may share some money. Will they? I don't know. Justice Doche said before that sometimes you look at certain things and you cannot but say that this is a create, loot, and share. We'll get there. But tonight we start on a good note for some of our football opponents, because Arsenal are looking like, this time it just might happen. And so they sing North London forever. North London forever, whatever the weather. I saw that goal that was scored by West Ham United. And if you want my honest opinion, I think that it was a foul on David Raya. But the reason why people think that it should have been allowed is because Arsenal have benefited from these kind of goals throughout the Premier League season. When Manchester United embarrassed Arsenal at the Emirates the other day by beating them by 3-2, the goal that Arsenal scored, the equalizing goal, when the game ended and the videos came out, it was very, very clear and obvious that Manchester United goalkeeper Senne Lammens had been heckled during the corner kick. Nobody said anything. Arsenal have been doing that. Ruud Gullit has had occasion to complain. Many of the football superstars have had occasion to complain about this corner kick mafia thing they do. There's a corner kick, they go and stand in front of your goalkeeper and all kinds of things. When we're children, when the corner kick comes, nobody stands in front of the goalkeeper. There was even a rule that within the 6-yard box, you cannot challenge the goalkeeper. We don't know what has happened to that rule. So that's where the conversation is. Nevertheless, Arsenal got the point. It's not going to be reversed. Arsenal are in pole position to win the Premier League. So tonight, we celebrate our Arsenal friends by creating this montage for them. North London forever, whatever the weather. Two games to go. North London forever, whatever the weather. Let's see what happens this season. But I'm guessing that, I have an Arsenal fan in my home, so it won't be too bad, would it? Now, the commanding papa, the Archbishop Nicholas Duncan Williams, is 69 years old today. He's a man who has laid down his life and talent in the service of humanity, in the service of the body of Christ. Leonard Archbishop, the blessed Archbishop, I should say, had a beautiful video today where he was playing some piano in his beautiful home. You have to love the Papa. I mean, it's very difficult to hate the Papa. You have to be something to really hate the Papa. He has strong opinions, yes, we know that. He has strong views, yes, we know that. He's a dynamite, yes, we know that. But he's just one of the sweetest people that you can be with if you engage him. He's full of laughter, he's full of encouragement, he's full of faith, and he's full of belief. Commanding Papa, happy birthday, 69 years. We can't wait for the 70, and we'll all be here by God's grace 1 year from now, and we'll lift up the Papa before the throne of heaven and ask for another 70 years for him. This is for the commanding Archbishop.
In the name of Jesus.
In the name of Jesus.
Heavenly Father,
Heavenly Father,
I thank you for your counsel.
For your counsel.
For me.
For me.
For my family.
For my family.
My loved ones.
My loved ones.
This house.
This house.
And my country. My nation, Ghana. Thank you for your counsel, your original intent. And though there are many mischiefs, devices in the hearts of men against your counsel shall stand. We enforce your original intent. We superimpose the counsel of the Lord over all the devices and the mischiefs in the hearts of men concerning me and my family, this house of God, and this nation.
Welcome back to the show. Let's remember the TGMA, and we're just remembering the TGMA because of the legend Kofi Kinata. Kofi Kinata won 2 awards. Over Kofi, it must have been a great weekend for you as Arsenal is getting closer to the title, and you picked up those 2 beautiful awards. He picked up the High Life Song of the Year and the Best High Life Song of the Year. Best High Life Song of the Year, High Life Artist of the Year. Yes, that's what it is. Best High Life Song of the Year and High Life Artist of the Year. TGMA went to Ambassador Kofi Kinata. Congratulations, Kofi Kinata. I think that was excellent. And he's had a great weekend, hasn't he? Because Arsenal, if they beat Burnley at the weekend and they beat Crystal Palace the next weekend on the 17th, that's 20-something. And if they beat Paris Saint-Germain on 30th May, then Arsenal would have won 2 trophies in a very long time. They've not won the Premier League in 22 years. Can you imagine that? 22 years, Arsenal have not been able to clinch the Premier League title. But, well, they can win it. It's fine. Because right now, the Premier League all-time league table looks like 20 Premier Leagues to Manchester United, 20 Premier Leagues to Liverpool, about 9 to Manchester City, about 12 to Arsenal, 6 to Chelsea, something. They are all way behind. So if Liverpool is not winning, then we are sharing the joint top spot with Liverpool. So we're hoping that Liverpool doesn't win. That's why we beat them home and away. You see, we beat Liverpool home and away to be sure that they don't win the Premier League. We might not win, but next year we'll definitely win the league. In fact, if the league has started from week 21, Manchester United would have won the title. But we won it anyway. We've beaten everybody, beat Man City, beat Arsenal, beat Liverpool. Then you won the Premier League, isn't it? So yes, Kofi Kinata, great weekend. I wish I had a montage for him. I wish I could play one of his songs. But these days, when you play the song on live TV, Spotify will block it because it's commercialized and it's good for our musicians. So, Kofi Kinata, I can't play the song. I can just hum it in my mind. Congratulations for your excellent performance and the recognition from the TGMA. Okay, do I have the Tadiosori birthday video? Okay, but Thaddeus Sorry is celebrating his birthday today as well. He celebrates birthday with the commanding papa, and Thaddeus is another guy that you have to like. You know, one thing about me is I like straightforward people. You know, Thaddeus is one of you. It doesn't get better than Thaddeus Sorry. He's very direct, very straightforward. He tells his opinion. What you see is what you get. He doesn't hide anything. He feels that what you're saying doesn't make sense. He'll tell you it doesn't make sense. No hard feelings. I love Thaddeus Sorry for that. He's a great lawyer. He is a tenacious guy. His attention to detail is solid. And he's very critical with his law. He loves the law. You know, that's why his law firm is called Sorry at Law. He just loves the law. And one day he'll be Speaker of Parliament, wouldn't he? He still doesn't like politics. You know, he has friends both ways. He still doesn't like politics. I think he thinks that politicians can be dishonest here and there. It's not dishonesty. It's called nuancing. But, you know, Thaddeus Sorry, they are very straightforward. They don't like those things. So he still doesn't do real politics. But one day somebody, president should nominate him for Speaker of Parliament. I think it would be good. When I was discussing with someone this afternoon about Thaddeus Sorry, and I said, Thaddeus, he should be Speaker of Parliament one of these days, shouldn't he? And the guy said, yeah, that will work. All right, Thaddeus will be a great Speaker of Parliament when in the office. And then I said, what about Chief Justice? They say, hey, you're going to make Thaddeus Sorry Chief Justice. Hey, we are all afraid. Yes, we are all afraid if Thaddeus Sorry becomes Chief Justice. But he can be Speaker of Parliament. But I'm just waiting for them to put the montage together for him. And I'll show you. Thaddeus Sorry by now has done about 20, in the high 20s of the years at the bar. Probably he's 27, 28, I'm not sure. But he's been at the bar for that long. He's been very impactful. My first encounter with him those days was when he was part of the legal team for Malam Issa. I don't know, younger viewers will not remember. But there was a sports minister called Malam Issa who was prosecuted as sports minister. It has to do with the Black Stars. The Black Stars had traveled abroad and they had lost $40,000. It was missing in somebody's suitcase. The sports minister was held responsible for it. It was very, very sad. If you look at the story today, $40,000, which today as part of our economy has become very small. At that time in 2001, it was significant. But President Kufuor grew the economy. I mean, whatever you say about President Kufuor, he took up an economy that was 4 billion at GDP. By the time he was leaving, it was 16 billion. That should sum it up. Whatever it is, that was President Kufuor's record. 4 billion to 16 billion is where he left Ghana. But today, people say all kinds of things about him because politics has allowed it. And some people who have taken political opportunity and political power pay for these things to happen. It's very sad in our society. Nothing to do with NDC and PP. You cannot denigrate a former president who took the economy from 4 billion to 16 billion in a manner that is being done anyhow, and people are enjoying it. And I say that whatever you sow, you will reap it. So let's be careful. But back to Thaddeus Sorry. Here's Thaddeus Sorry's montage. Anyemi, happy birthday. And you didn't invite me to the party, but if the party hasn't happened yet, please invite me. I hear that you want to do something under bridge. I am very happy to come. And then we can joy and talk about politics. When I start talking, you say, hey, Paul, take your politics away. I don't do politics. That's Thaddeus Sorry. He also supports Liverpool. So when United beats Liverpool, I was thinking about him. I was very happy about it because he brags about Liverpool too much. But Liverpool and United have both won the title 20 times. Thaddeus, happy birthday.
Well, it's based on my upbringing, one. Two, I also relate with people who believe in standards. And so, if you find that I'm committed to a particular principle that I say I won't violate, it's because I believe in standards. And so, even at the level where you are dealing with ethics of your profession, you are taught that right from the time when you start growing up, that in a society you need to respect standards. You need to respect principles that people subscribe to. And so if the ethics in my profession say, do not speak about a matter when it is pending in court, especially when you are conducting it, because as a lawyer, your duty is to conduct your case in the courtroom, not in the court of public opinion. There's no reason why I should depart from it, only because people want to upset you or to get in under your skin or to provoke you to do what they know you shouldn't do.
You heard him clear. When a matter is in court, he doesn't talk about it. That's Thaddeus Sorry. Happy birthday, bro. I'm waiting for the invite for the party. Okay, let's get to business and start the action. I'd like to begin tonight's show with an article that was written by a young man, and it's an article that is postulating on what is happening in Ghana's economy today. So I'm going to read it. You might see some political biases in it. There were some harsh words in it which we have taken out because that's really not our style of communication, to be using harsh words. They are not insulting words, but they are a bit harsh. So we've taken all of that out. And viewers, I need your attention now. Permit me 5 minutes of your time. Let's read the article by Kwame Penyin Bansa. Kwame Penyin, I think he's a twin. Penyin Bansa put this article out on social media, and I'd like to read it. It starts, the cedi has depreciated by 7.4404% from the beginning of the year. Yanum, that means the NDC, have also exceeded their domestic borrowing target by 69% already, and we are only in April. You cannot pay salaries even though you are borrowing like crazy. You already think you will not be able to honor bondholders when it becomes due. Prices are galloping. Even though you tell us inflation is at 3.5%, we know that you are, he uses the word lying. We don't say that. We know that you are something. Okay. Farmers cannot get buyers even though they have stock, which is as cheap as hell. Doomsor 2 is back. We know that because people are being arrested for stating the truth. Our gold reserves are gone. You sold them to mask up your hefty losses. Okay. Now, the unraveling we spoke about since the beginning of the artificial engineering of the cedi is happening. It started in May 2025. You spent over 12 billion on that endeavor. And 1 year on, you are unable to sustain it. Something we warned you against. Imagine if that amount had been invested in the real sectors of the economy. If that amount was used to complete every single road or hospital or educational project you inherited. Heck, assuming you even bid for the World Cup or African Cup with that amount, just imagine the transformation that would have resulted in the country. Instead, you chose a lazy approach where you get funds based on shallow and hollow policy. You chose to create a windfall for importers who passed on just a fraction of their profit to consumers. Now, you are collecting that money back by imposing an incompetent AI called Publican or whatever, which is really crippling. I shudder to think what it will be like by December 2026, except maybe you will find some new gold somewhere to sell to prop up the cedi again. Anokwa, he says. So it's a conversation about the Ghanaian economy, which looks different in the market from what is on paper. It's difficult to challenge what is on paper because we are told that it is given by the statistical service. They say that inflation is 3.5%. They say that the cedi is where it is, and they say everything is good. But farmers complain that there's a food glut. Nobody is buying. They have rice, they have tubers, they're all lying down. Nobody is buying. Why are people not buying? People are eating, and so there's a glut over there, and then in Accra, the prices are high. Price of foodstuffs keep going up. Petrol has gone up a bit, and many other things are going up. Today, there was a publication that in September, there might be a loss of 72,000. Sorry. In September, there might be a loss of 72,000 students for the free SHS placement. When Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo began free SHS in 2017, September, the next year, 2018, there was an additional 100,000 intake that we were not ready for. In the next year, there was another 170,000, and then came double track. Today, we are hearing that based on what is happening in the last education system, where PTA dues, which Akufo-Addo banned, has now been restored, and the PTA dues is being masked as PTA dues, but it's actually school fees, because PTA dues is as high as 5,000, 3,000. You take your wards to school, you are being asked to pay this, pay that, pay this, pay that. It was illegal under Akufo-Addo for head teachers to ask parents to pay any money. Today, it looks like it is normal, and they are paying. So people are not able to pay. So there's a concern that by September this year, at least 72,000 people who were expected to transition from BEC into senior high will not be able to make it. If that is true, it's staggering and it's sad. We need to have a real conversation about the Ghanaian economy and understand where it's going, and let's be truthful and honest. But how can we be truthful and honest when the statistics that are being poured out continuously tell us that we are doing well, when we feel that we are not doing well, we are being told that we are doing well? That's a conversation for another day, and we will take it up. Again, Let's get to politics now. I'll do a first political story, take a break, and come back and do the next political stories. My friend Mustafa Gwande has charged again. Mustafa Gwande appeared on a television interview with Onua TV, and he had a lot to say. He's very unhappy about the developments in the NDC, given the succession towards the leadership of the party to replace President John Dramani Mahama. You see, one thing I've observed in my political coverage over many years is that the things that we wish for often do not happen in politics. The things that will happen. And even though we all know that the things that will happen, we all wish that it won't happen. Let me give you a clear example. When we are going into Congress, we say that, oh, let us not fight among ourselves. Let us unite, and then let us choose a leader. The process of choosing a leader, you see, it's one of the maladies of democracy. You have democracy. It's a good thing. But the processes of choosing in a democracy would always leave wounds. It will always leave bitterness. Whether we like it or not, it's a malady of democracy. If we don't want it and we create a system that is not democratic and that does not choose people in a democratic way, that system can last for a period. It will collapse. Last night, I was watching television. I do that very late in the night. And I was watching Russia. And I have a system where I can watch Russian television. This is a device that is sold around. I can tell you where I got it. So I was watching Russian television. There is a lot of concern about the future of Vladimir Putin, because the Russian democracy does not permit too many elections and electing people in various sectors. So you will see that they have a semblance of stability. And that's what happens to all this military and oligarchy type of government. They have a semblance of stability, but it doesn't last. The democracy does not just have a semblance of stability, it has real stability. America has been doing it for 200 years. Even Ghana, we've now been doing it for nearly 40 years because of the principles and the processes. But those principles and processes have negatives. It's a malady. You have to elect people. You have to choose between Kwesi and Abena. You have to choose between Amma and Kwame. Once you have chosen Kwame, Amma says, you didn't choose me. You can't do anything about that. So Mustafa Gwande and some of the NDC are beginning to see the cracks. And they will complain about unity and it won't work. They will go to the fight. It is for this reason that since 1988, no political party in a presidential democracy has been able to change leader and win elections. So what am I saying? In 1988 in America, President Ronald Reagan had done 2 terms, having started in 1980. He was leaving power. His vice president, George Bush #1, I think they call him Bush 41. George Bush #1 was running for the ticket from the Republican Party as vice president, and he was elected in 1988, and he was defeated in 1992. Since 1988, in America, no one has changed government and won the election. So let me tell you how it happened. Bill Clinton became president in 1992. He was a successful president. By 2000, he was leaving. Bill Clinton was really successful. He had a vice president that everyone thought was actually better than Bill Clinton. In fact, today, if you go to the American libraries of political science, they will tell you that Vice President Al Gore is one of the best presidents that America never had. Everyone knew that Al Gore was a superstar. Al Gore was really going to take America higher than Clinton did. But Al Gore was defeated in the election by a narrow Supreme Court ruling, 5-4 decision of the Supreme Court over the Florida votes. And so Al Gore did not succeed Clinton, nothing to do with the economy. But it was the changing order. The Clinton people felt that Al Gore had carried out a campaign to endorse the fact that Bill Clinton had difficulties in the Monica Lewinsky issue. Al Gore refused to run on Clinton's record. And people like James Carville, who are unrepentant Clinton supporters, decided to withdraw from the Al Gore campaign. So the Democratic Party did not have the unity that they needed to kill that election. And George Bush slipped through and became president. George Bush was a successful president. 8 years after he was leaving, he brought in Senator McCain. There are not many Americans who are respected like Senator McCain. Senator McCain is an American military guy who went to war for America, lost one of his hands, something like that. He's a very powerful senator. Everyone was waiting for the day Senator McCain would be president, and everyone loved him. However, there was a changing of the guard. The George Bush people were changing to Senator McCain. McCain came in and chose a running mate, and the lady that the George Bush people didn't quite like. It appears that they pulled away a little bit from the campaign. Senator McCain went to the campaign. He earned 49% of the votes, but the famous Barack Obama earned 51% of the votes. Barack Obama became America's president on the back of huge popularity. In fact, the American election that brought Barack Obama to power in 2008, if that election had been conducted worldwide, Obama would have won with a higher margin. Obama could pull the crowds in Germany. He pulled the crowds in Manchester. He pulled the crowds in Bordeaux in France. He pulled the crowds in Paris, in Denmark. During his campaign as a Democratic nominee, Barack Obama was a phenomenon. Obama's government ended in 2016. And then came Hillary Clinton. There were many people who attributed Bill Clinton's success to Hillary Clinton. And therefore, Hillary Clinton, as Senator of New York as well, New York is a hotbed of the Democratic politics. It's almost impossible for a Republican to win the Senate seat in New York. The Democrats will always grab it, just like California. So Mrs. Clinton was a big candidate. When Donald Trump emerged, people were laughing at him and said that, how can you compare Donald Trump to Mrs. Clinton? What are you talking about? Everyone knew that it was a shoe-in for Hillary Clinton. People were cutting deals with her. Documents were signed. Everyone knew that the Republican candidate was a joke. But on November 4, 2016, against all odds, Donald Trump won the election. In fact, he won the election by losing 2 million of the popular votes. If you know what I mean, America has, tonight is not the time to explain that, but America has a popular vote and electoral votes. Electoral votes matter more than popular votes. Donald Trump was elected ahead of Clinton. So there's always a problem when you are shifting. Back in Ghana, Flight Lieutenant Rawlings conducted 8 years of very powerful government. Rawlings was power. Rawlings was AK-47. Rawlings was image. Rawlings was stability. Rawlings nominated his successor, Professor J.E. Mills. Mills was thought to be one of the cleanest politicians of all time. Clean guy. He had come from the University of Ghana. He was not corrupt. You can't take corruption on him. He's a nice guy. He's a soulful type of guy. He loves sports and all of that. In spite of all that and the heavy campaign that Rawlings did for him, Mills could not make it. John Agyekum Kufuor defeated him. Agyekum Kufuor had run one of the most successful governments in Ghana for 8 years. He had moved the economy from 4 billion to 16 billion. Agyekum Kufuor came in and Akufo-Addo came after him. Akufo-Addo was thought to be a more popular politician than Kufuor himself. Akufo-Addo was Attorney General and had distinguished himself as Ghana's foreign minister. He had made great friends with all the leaders across, Colonel Gaddafi. Everybody loved Akufo-Addo. Akufo-Addo came in and by 25,000, he lost the ballot when 10 million people were voting. So it's always very complicated when the president is not running and he's stepping away for another person. It's complicated. And whether the NDC like it or not, I'm not saying they will not win 2028 or they will win. I don't know what happened in 2028. The Ghanaian people will decide. But it is going to be a difficulty in trying to navigate away from the John Mahama presidency. You are going to ask people not to contest. Why shouldn't they contest? You are going to say Asiedu Nketia shouldn't contest. Asiedu Nketia is going to ask you, why shouldn't I contest? You are going to say Julius Debra shouldn't contest. Why shouldn't he contest? Callistus Mahama pens an article and say that whatever it is the John Mahama's effort that so let's all come. Nobody's going to come together anywhere. I'm going to show you videos tonight of Kwesi Pratt complaining on Good Morning Ghana that it has already started and it's going to deepen. Whether the NDC like it or not, they're going to confront this matter. But as politicians, when we confront the matter, we always feel the urge to say, oh, let's stop that. Here is Mustafa Gbande on Onia TV making the same complaints we have heard from 50 years ago about politicians who find themselves in a situation where something is staring at them. They wish it away, but it's not going to go anywhere. Mustafa Gbande.
Mustafa, who's on call for my president?
I know. I'm going to say it. Now I'm saying it now.
Ladies and gentlemen,
the president is suffering.
If the fundamental...
No, but I don't a party for no. Appointees in no say, hey, Mama, president in Britain.
He had to take the general secretary sometimes to take the approach of summoning ministers to FEC before they come. Some ministers don't attend party meeting at all. Hey. Now they have arrived. Oh, Madam Kachero, I'm Miss Roby. There's nobody that I'm
ministers, no. What from for party meetings?
Look, recently I had to call one minister to ask him, you sent so and so to the party. He said yes. I said, did you inform the general secretary? I asked him, did you inform the general secretary? Are you the manager of the party? Are you the one managing the party?
Hey,
you don't manage the party. The party has executives who manage the party. If you don't respect them, you create crisis. Because when you touch me, I will touch you. I will not assume that you have touched me and misbehaved with me, so
Mustafa Bande is complaining about what? He should relax. For your Bande, my friend, you said you were going to call me, you didn't call. What's happening? Please relax, eh? So this is a cast. Johnson Asiedu Ketia, the indefatigable party chairman who is running, and he's going to run for party chairman this year. The election is sometime in September. He will be elected as party chairman, actually re-elected as party chairman. Then he's going to hold a press conference and decide the timetable for the election of the presidential candidate, in which he is a key contender and a front runner. He himself is going to be the referee and the player, the linesman, the commentator, but he's not going to be in charge of VAR. Julius Debra will have the VAR. It's going to be fantastic. Asiedu Ketia can be the referee and play the game and be the linesman. It doesn't matter. Julius Debra will hold the video, VAR, video assistant referee. So, and the VAR is the final authority, isn't it? No, actually, John Mahama is the VAR. The president is the VAR. It's going to be great. So, Asiedu Ketia is running. Julius Debra is the chief of staff. He controls a lot. He's a cadre. He's been with the NDC forever. He holds the Eastern region. He's doing great things already. He looks presidential, doesn't he? You see the way he can jog. Julius Debra can jog. He can run. He can do Tai Chi. Tai Chi, they do it like this. Julius Debra can do all that. He can come down. He can bend. Asiedu Ketia, I don't know. But you see this, Asiedu Ketia walks fast to show that he can walk fast. They are all showing strength because Musa Dankwa says 78% of the voters are below the age of 44. So you have to run, a jog, do this, fantastic. So Julius Debra is presidential. He's running. The story hasn't ended. Keselatu Forson is holding the wallet. And he's deciding things. Please get me the Kwesi Pratt video, yeah? And Keselatu Forson is deciding things. Okay. So he is holding the wallet. He is trusted by President Mahama. 5,000%. You don't trust somebody, you don't make him your finance minister. President Mahama has reversed the roles of Atu Forson and said Tekwe. Tekwe used to be Forson's boss. Forson is now Tekwe's boss. That doesn't happen if the president doesn't trust you. So Keselatu Forson has 100% trust of the president, maybe 5,000%. He's holding the purse. He's going to decide everything. Money decides everything. Kwame Nkrumah said organization decides everything. But it's money that decides the organization. So money actually decides everything. And Keselatu Forson has it. Why shouldn't he then run? Why should he give you money for you to run to become president? He is going to run himself. He has the blessing of the president. So Atu Forson is in. Are you going to wish him away? You dare not. He's in. It's going to be a fight, and it's going to be a fracas, and it's going to be torn apart. However you look at it, you can look at it any way. You can beg them, let's have unity. It will not work. There will be some taking away of your unity. You are not going to go to 2028 as you went to 2024. Never. It won't happen. You are going to have cracks. Okay? So that's going to happen. And that's what Bande is complaining about. He can complain all he wants. Nothing will change. Unless President Mahama decides to do a third term. If President Mahama decides to do a third term, then we are dealing with a different kettle of fish and a completely different scenario. But is President Mahama going to do a third term? Can President Mahama do a third term? I don't know. The jury is still out there. Joshua Alabi is competent, supremely competent, and he has demonstrated it in private life. He's been in politics for the longest time. No corruption allegations has ever been raised against Joshua Alabi. Have you ever heard it before? Alabi has never been questioned about anything. He has held ministerial positions. In his private life, he has developed a university. Competence doesn't come better than that. So Alabi is competent. He's entitled to look for presidency. Professor Jenana Opoku-Agyeman is vice president. She's the one who has been trained the most for the presidency. You remember that argument that was made in favor of Mahamudu Bawumia against Alan Kyerematen? That somebody is vice president. He sits next to the president. He replaces the president when the president is not there. She has had a taste of the presidency. Why are you telling her that she shouldn't think about being president? Are you really serious? Wasn't John Mahama vice president before he became president? So why can't Jane Opoku-Agyeman run? You cannot raise an argument, a successful argument against this. Jane Opoku-Agyeman is definitely going to run, and she's going to fight the battle. So with all of these things going on, and who is going to win, issues about running mates have become important. So influential people in the party are beginning to pitch themselves as running mates to some of these leading contenders. The latest story is that Haruna Iddrisu, who was a key proposer of Jane Opoku-Agyeman's ability to run for president, seems like he's shifted. This evening, gossip coming into our newsroom suggests that Iddrisu Haruna is gone the other way. Where has Iddrisu Haruna gone? He's gone here. Viewers, look at this. Is it not beautiful? This is the new ticket. Does it frighten we that Asiedu Ketia supporters? Yes, it does. But are we going to overcome? Yes, we shall overcome. Me, I'm an Asiedu Ketia supporter. Everyone knows that. Does this ticket frighten the Asiedu Ketia supporters? It frightens us. We have to be honest. It frightens. When the thing came this afternoon, I called people that Charlie, we're in trouble. They say, Charlie, this one is serious. Pow. This is the ticket. The deal has been brokered. It's a ticket. Johnson Asiedu, Julius Debra, and Iddrisu Haruna. Powerful. It's called powerful. So Asiedu Ketia must hurry up and get the Senator Rawlings thing. Let's see how it works. Or he must get the Fifi Kwete thing. I mean, yes, he's chairman and general secretary. We know that. But the two of them must come in as presidential candidates and general secretary. So we deal with it. But how are they going to get northern votes? That's the problem. 5 northern regions. Is the Volta region bigger than the 5 northern regions? I don't know. You have to look at the statistics. Volta region is quite huge, I have to say. But this is Eastern Volta. Then there will be the battle for Ashanti. And in the battle for Ashanti, Otumfuo is not happy. He says that you people, you are using the power anyhow. When the Sampahini is coming, you are doing this and you are doing that. So there's a lot to cover over the next 20 months. There's so much to cover in politics in Ghana over the next 20 months as we are beginning to get into the real democracy. So this is the story for tonight. Julius, Debra, and Iddrisu Haruna. That's the latest ticket. That's the latest. You will tell me that I'm exaggerating. You wait 2-3 days later, you will see it. It starts coming. For your Bande, my friend, this is a frightening ticket. And I'm sure that Ras Mubarak is very happy about this ticket. So why are they putting the ticket together? Because Asiedu Ketia is the guy to beat. So you don't beat Asiedu Ketia by nothing. You know, Johnson is seasoned. So you don't go and just beat him just like that. No, you don't go and bring people to beat him like that. No. Let me see the data you were showing me. That's interesting. The one you just put out. Yeah, this one. Oh, are we... Okay. Oh, no, I'll come to that. This is another story. I'll come to that in a minute. Sorry, viewers. It's another story. It's still on Mustafa Bandi. So, viewers, this is the story, yeah? This is the story. I have the next NDC story coming. I also have a story on political abuse, which will then lead me to a Facebooker, a health worker, praising Akufo-Addo to the high heavens because of the frustration that health workers are going through in Ghana today. It's very, very interesting. So, I support Asiedu Ketia. Some people support Julius Debra. That is fine. Many people support Kwesi Latufosin because he's holding the money. If you don't support him, you see what he will do to you. So, let's go to Kwesi Pratt's video and let us understand why the crying, the tears will not wipe away the major malady of democracy, which is choice, choosing. It's a major malady of democracy, but we have to deal with it. It's like, you know, Apostle Paul, when he wrote in the Bible, he got to a place where he wrote that there's something disturbing him, that God should take it away. And God said, don't worry, my grace is sufficient for you. It means you will go through it, but it shall by no means hurt you. Yea, though you walk through the valley of the shadow of death, nothing will happen. So NDC, it will happen. Can it cost you election defeat? Yes, it can cost you election defeat. It cost election defeat to Akufo-Addo in 2008. This same political party rancor. I interviewed Kufuor in that our famous documentary where he nailed the 2008 defeat to the fact that there were too many divisions within the MPP. How did the divisions come about? 17 people wanted to challenge Akufo-Addo. Why did we allow 17? You can't stop anyone. Some of them got 0. At Kennedy, he got 0. But he was in there. He challenged it. So you really can't stop those things. So you can't stop anybody. So Kwesi Pratt is complaining that people are dumb. It will go on. Who suffers? The nation. Who benefits? Democracy. So it's a malady of democracy. Here, Kwesi Pratt.
Ghana is supposed to be independent of government. You are right. Exactly. Suppose, but is it the Bank of Ghana, according to our laws, regulations, and so on, does not take instructions from government. When it comes to its operations, it is independent as opposed to be independent. And in your politicians, say, "Yeah, breso, ekoye, muma breso, ankoye, yeah, breso, ankoye, muma breso, ekoye, ni adeno." Politicians, one more catch is a sash shine or homun this one. One more catch. And see, I had to move as share, ya said that ye send your bay, sick as 7 bekoye. Politicians.
Sorry, that's the wrong video. Kwesi Pratt was talking in Good Morning Ghana about ministers struggling with each other. He was talking tomorrow, and that's the video we're looking for. But let's take some text messages. We'll get that, and then we'll come to you. So let me start with Ekuya. What are people saying so far?
Thank you so much, Paul. And starting off with General L. Coleman, on the Archbishop's birthday, he says, "God bless Archbishop Nick for setting the pace and raising generals for the kingdom. We love and appreciate you, Papa. Your impact, leadership, and sacrifice continue to inspire many lives. But as for us now, until I see the cup in their hands, I will not congratulate them because we have seen this before." Coming from Chris Adu, he says, "Good evening, Apostle Paul. Appointees of this government must be very cautious about how they treat their political opponents. In 2029, when the NPP assumes office and the same actions are meted out against them, they should not complain because, as our flag bearer says, the NPP will never forget. Instead of focusing on delivering their mandate on the citizens, they seem more fixated on chasing opposition members. As I speak now, parts of Abekan are experiencing a water crisis. We've had no water for the past 2 weeks without any communication from the Ghana Water Company. Yet, we are paying exorbitant utility bills since they assumed office. What kind of government is this?" Again, from General L. Coleman, he says, "When you artificially create the appearance of a strong cedi without improving the real conditions of the economy, the everyday experiences of the people will eventually expose the truth. Ghanaians judge the economy not by headlines, but by the cost of living and their daily realities." The next person says, "The NDC propagandist's persistent reference to economic stability raises questions about their understanding of the daily struggles of the ordinary Ghanaian. Have they visited the markets lately? Is their concept of economic stability reflective of the reality on the ground? The proposed value for money office, intended to tackle inflated government contracts, appears to be yet another avenue for creating employment opportunities for party faithful. Is it not concerning that the flagship policy has remained stagnant? If they are serious about addressing the nation's challenges, they should focus on resolving the issues affecting cocoa farmers, unpaid teachers and nurses, traders facing low patronage and high electricity bills, as well as the escalating cost of rent. Ghanaians deserve better. The hashtag is Bawumia is next president." And that's a very passionate submission from Sami Boache, who is watching us from Asaman Kesi. And finally, from Oboba Kwabna Fosu, he says, "Mr. Paul, kudos to you and your team. The caliber of journalism you deliver is unprecedented, rigorous, intellectual, grounded in facts, and free from sensationalization, fabrication, or malice. You have elevated the craft to an entirely new standard." Thank you. Let's keep the comments going. Over to you, Fatih.
All right, thank you, Akia. So we have this from Suyalana. It says, "Good evening. In fact, NDC is breaking gradually. Leadership crises are beginning to affect the NDC, and it's very clear." Chris Adi says, "Regardless of how the NDC will conduct their internal election, whoever emerges winner as a flag bearer of the party for 2028 will surely lose the election to Bawumia. This incompetent display in government cannot be tolerated by Ghanaians beyond 2028. Mustafa Bande is afraid that he and his party are on their way going home in 2028 because they have failed in their own supporters. With all the high cost of bills we are paying, we are still entangled with Dumso and shortage of water in some part of the country without any tangible reason for this crisis. It is interesting that an economy that's doing well cannot resolve these crises. Adamu says Mustafa's interview on Onya revealed a lot about the future of the NDC. The race will be sweet. General E.L. Coman says, what is the NDC afraid of? They should allow every strong contender the opportunity to compete freely and let the delegates decide who becomes the flag bearer. Trying to control or limit the process could create unnecessary internal conflict and divisions that will weaken their chances in 2028. And lastly, coming from Anthony, says, kindly do a story on the health service recruitment. It's really sad. Hanziba.
Thank you very much, Fatih. Coming from Suleiman, he says, Paul, you can say anything, but we as now are definitely going to pick the League Cup. Alhaji says, thank you, Apostle Paul, and God bless you more and more each day. Idrisu says, I thought Kofi Kinata was a Manchester United fan. Kosa says, Paul, Kofi Kinata is a strong Manchester United fan. Emmanuel Yeboah says, Apostle Paul, God bless you for the love you have shown Arsenal fans. The team to talk about is the Gunners. Anthony says, Paul, kindly do a story on the health service recruitment is very bad. Prince J. MP says, nursing recruitment is a scam. Isaac Tre says, let's support our local league. The Liverpool, Arsenal, etc. support is killing our local league. Nana Yao says, Paul, I'm learning a lot from your educated program tonight. May God bless you with more wisdom and intellect to continue your good work. Kenneth Swansea says, Paul, talk more about the import duty. It is too high. Master Planner Junior from Kintampo says, the NDC has no candidates that can match Dr. Baumia in 2028. Inshallah. We are just waiting for them and we will match them squarely after all internal elections by September, inshallah. Just give some time. Jude Obri says, watching live from Konongo, we have kept our silence on the issue of Galamsey. Our lands are being deteriorated. I feel sorry for my homeland, Ghana. Ali says, good evening and welcome to the most excellent program of our time. Ifu says, Sam George and the NDC cannot bear the heat. Yes, okay. Fatih, do you have any more messages for us? Okay.
Okay, so I have messages from Yao February. He says, since the intermittent electricity supply started for government to justify it with replacement of transformers and fire outbreak at Akosombo, some Ghanaians and members of the NPP has criticized the NDC government for bringing back Dumso. So if not political victimization by the government against members of the NPP, the security would not have arrested a member of the NPP for publishing Dumso. Is back as a crime for publishing false information. There are a lot of criticism in the social media domain that we are witnessing Dumso, but the government's attention is on only one person with arrest and detention. Also, General E.O. Common says, God bless Archbishop Nick for setting the pace and raising generals for the kingdom. We love and appreciate you, Papa. Your impact, leadership, and sacrifice continue to inspire many lives. For us now, until I see the cup in their hands, I'm not going to congratulate them. Yeah, I think that's lastly coming from Alhaji Bob City. It says around 9 a.m. today, our lights went off and returned an hour later. Who said Dumso is over? All right. Do you have any for us?
I have a comment from General L. Coleman, and he says, the NDC should understand that when insults and propaganda become the main strategy for winning elections, the result is often a culture of silence used to cover incompetence. Ghanaians are now seeing the true colors of the umbrella. Thank you, and over to you, Paul.
I'm receiving a lot of text messages
apologies. Hey, Paul, Kofi Kenata is a Man U fan. Kofi Kenata said, oh, Kenata, you are with us, and I said you're Arsenal. Yeah, why did I do that? Sorry. Kofi Kenata is a Manchester United fan. He knows what time it is. He knows that the glory is at the Old Trafford. Glory, glory, Man United. Playing football since the Bosby days. Yeah. Next story, still on the ruling National Democratic Congress, and still picking up from Mustafa Bande's interview at Onia TV. First, we have been saying on this show, and I'm interested in bringing this story to you viewers. I hope it's not boring. I'm interested in bringing to you because I have been saying that if the NDC goes into a contest in 2027 to elect a presidential candidate after John Mahama, given the cast of what I showed you a bit earlier, it will be the first time that the NDC is going through a real presidential primary. They have had presidential primaries, but it's not been real. When you go to a presidential primary where one candidate is winning 98%, that's what I mean by it's not real. It's just a formula. It's just for the purposes of the camera. It's just so that they have to tick the box that they did a contest. It happens in many political parties and it happens in other circumstances. But in the history of this country since the Fourth Republic, as I have covered, the NDC have never really had a contest in any presidential primary. This is the first time that the NDC is going to do a contest. Now, yesterday, Mustafa Bande agreed with that on Onua FM. He's a deputy general secretary of the party, and he said that the NDC doesn't do contest. They don't like that. That's not how they are formed. That's not how they are designed. It doesn't mean what they do is undemocratic. It just doesn't allow people to do that. They build consensus. They like to build consensus. So Bande is worried that the NDC's consensus building is failing, and it will fail because it's not sustainable. When you are doing democracy and you are doing Kebima Minkembi Abain, Kebima Minkembi does not allow consensus for 40 years. It may permit consensus for 20 years, but now the consensus road is blocked, and the NDC will have to go and face it off. MPP have been facing it off since 1992. Even within the MPP, it's not every election cycle that they do a contest. Sometimes, as much as possible, we don't want the contest, but it's an important aspect of the democratic culture. You need it to sustain the democracy. It might cost you, but democracy will win. That's always the case. Here is Bande, again, speaking at Onia.
And again, is the party up for election? Who told all these things that NDC is going to go through election? I don't know, but I'm just saying that what if we don't open the party up for election? It's a shame. Because the NDC, we don't know elections. The NDC is a tradition that is founded on consensus building. We are not MPP, and we must not allow what the MPP is doing to go into our head. Bang, bang, bang. Nia is creating suspicion among us. Unam krane so we we nipa. Unam hwane si una ubu we. Me obi di bang obi di sade ne ba me so antokwa abesu nya. Bang bang bang. Obi di sade ne ba so. Because I will not allow anybody to align me to short visions. Now there are two clear things that we are doing. We have to satisfy the party people, and we have to make sure the president succeeds. Look, it doesn't matter all these people. Anybody who becomes a leader of the party without President Mahama, you lose.
Viewers, I hope that is not boring, is it? Sorry if it's boring, but let's pay attention to it. Did you hear what Mustafa Bande said? He said they don't do that. I said it on Good Morning Ghana. They fought with me. I said it on Newsfile. They killed me. But truth will always prevail because we do the truth. We don't have any interest to tell anything that's untrue. We have absolutely no interest to do so. The truth may be unpalatable, but that's the research truth. And that's what journalism is about. Get the research correct. But these propagandists, when you come to them with truth, they will come at you. Indus Afuseni, I was with him on Newsfile. He came up to me. Who told you that NDC don't do content? NDC. I came to Good Morning Ghana. Hamza Suhini. Hey, who told you that NDC? I said NDC have never done a contest before. Ato Ahoy, the legend, he called into the show. Bob Adomochi should clear off from the studio. Who told him that we are going to do a contest? When the time comes, we will know what to do. Today, Mustafa Bande has vindicated the research. NDC, they don't do contest. They are not like the MPP. And they shouldn't let what the MPP doing go into their head. Permit me to bore you a little bit. I have on the touch screen here the further details of why we say that they have never done a contest. And this is the first time they are going to do the contest. I beg you not to bore you. Can I please play Mustafa Bande again? I beg you, please listen to him one more time. Here is Bande.
And again, is the party up for election? Who told all these things that NDC is going to go through election? I don't know, but I'm just saying that what if we don't open the party up for election? It's a shame. Because the NDC, we don't know elections. The NDC is a tradition that is founded on consensus building. We are not MPP, and we must not allow what the MPP is doing to go into our head. Bang, bang, bang. Nia Ekosono is creating suspicion among us. Unam kra na so we we nipa. Unam hwa na esi una ubu awe. Me obi di bank obi di sade ne ba me so antokwa abesu nya. Bang bang bang. Obi di sade ne ba so. Because I will not allow anybody to align me to short visions. Now there are two clear things that we are doing. We have to satisfy the party people, and we have to make sure the president succeeds. Look, it doesn't matter all these people. Anybody who becomes a leader of the party without President Mahama, you lose.
Anybody who becomes without President Mahama, you will lose. So Ato Forson will win, or President Mahama will do a third term. One of them. Let's go. This is the National Democratic Congress. 1992, Fly Lieutenant Rawlings, no contest. We have the videos of that from Cape Coast. You know that Rawlings was acclaimed. At that time, the division in the NDC was that some felt that having done the military regime for 11 years, it was important that J.J. Rawlings should not contest in the elections. He should step away. Supporters of J.J. Rawlings felt that no. How do we consolidate the 11 years of the Provisional National Defense Council? Probity, accountability, and transparency. They needed to consolidate it. They needed to keep themselves in politics, to keep themselves in a job. So they supported Rawlings. JJ was popular. We had another documentary in which Guzi Tano told us that JJ was popular. They were sure that he was going to win. And so they put JJ there. So no contest. JJ Rawlings becomes the leader. 1995, of course, in those circumstances, whether it's NDC or MPP, they never do a contest. You don't contest a sitting president. Even in America, they don't. You don't contest a sitting president. So JJ won again in 1995. Then came the big one of 2000, so the Swedru Declaration. The Fanti Confederacy knew that the party structures had been set up to support Guzi Tano. Captain Chikata was involved in that. They had managed to get Captain Chikata off from the national security table and brought in one of their own, Kofi Totobi Kwachi, who was there to work out the Mills agenda. They had managed to get Mills to be vice president through their Hoist Kwame Nyaye to convince Rawlings that Mills should be vice president. They were fortunate that the late Professor George Bene, as he wrote in his book, said that he was unwell and therefore he couldn't become the running mate, the vice president of the party. They found Professor Mills and they brought him in. The exiting vice president was a Fanti called Kensenaka. May he rest in peace. It was important that if you didn't want to disappoint the people of Cape Coast, you had to replace them with a vice president. They needed a vice president who was from the heart of Cape Coast. Otuam is where Professor Mills is from, and he grew up in Commander. That it doesn't get better than that in terms of being Fanti. So they needed another Fanti in there. Professor Mills came in and then became a good vice president, I should say. And then they got Rawlings to railroad a thing so that there would be no contest, because they were sure that the cadres wanted to take their party after Rawlings, and the cadres were united behind Augustus Guzi Tano. He was nice looking. He looked like Rawlings. He's, as they used to say, copper-colored. What does that mean? I don't know. We're growing up. Now it's gone out of the lingua. They used to say when you are fed, they say you are copper-colored. What was that? I don't understand that. I mean, but we all said copper-colored. Now we don't say it anymore. They say Guzi is copper-colored. So they had Guzi there, and they knew that Guzi was going to win. Guzi was so disappointed with the Swedru Declaration. He and his friends, some of the cadres, left the party and formed a new party called the National Reform Party, of which I was a member. Mills, the Swedru Declaration came in, no contest. Mills became the candidate. And then came 2002. Kosi Boche, who was coming from the old stock, felt that, he and his friends felt that, well, Mills is new. He doesn't even understand. He doesn't even get the ethos of the NDC. The NDC blood does not run through him. So he decided to contest. The NDC machine taught Mil Ekwesibocho a lesson. They told him that, as Mustafa Gbande is saying, we NDC, we don't do elections, so we go by consensus. The consensus is that it is Professor Mills. Get out of here. I was whipped at the Legon Central Cafeteria, organized by my good friend E.T. Mensah, because I was reporting for Joy FM, and I was reporting Kwesibocho report as they deemed it. So they were in their homes and they were in the place and they heard Joy FM report, and Joy FM will come to me. Yeah, Paul, what are we doing? I'll say that Kwesibocho is coming into the room. He's looking very nice. I said, who is this talking Kwesibocho? E.T. Mensah said, Charlie, go and beat him up. Oh, I was there. They said, you quick. If I didn't have Taekwondo, I would have been in serious trouble. By that time, my Taekwondo was on. I was a black belt. I still am, but I've stopped a long time. So that time, my Taekwondo was on. So I did the Taekwondo thing. I escaped, you see. But otherwise, when my boss is coming from job, are you okay? I said, I'm okay. Oh, the Taekwondo, I showed them, they said they were afraid. So I did some small Chinese fighting over there. But the results showed that there was no contest. Professor Mills grabbed 80-something%, and Kwesibocho got 1%. 1. So that's what we mean by it was not a contest. It was not a contest in the lead up to it. It was not a contest on voting day, because the whole party machinery, including Fly Lieutenant Rawlings, the founder who was alive, had united behind J.E.A. Mills. That's what Mustafa Gbande says. They are not MPP. They don't do that. MPP can do contest for it to go to second round. Presidential election. They can do and it to go to second round. That's a contest. This one, they don't do contest. 2002. Let's move on. Then you have 2006. In 2006, Ambassador Spielgarber and my producers have done a very beautiful thing. They have picked the photographs from that time. Very, very interesting. I like these, my young people. They picked the photograph from that time so that you can get the graphic representation of what happened then. So in 2006, Professor Mills was, again, the establishment candidate. They didn't want anybody contest him. Spielgarber's problems in NDC started with the decision to contest Professor Mills. Spiel felt that the NDC needed more dynamism. They were in opposition and they had to challenge Akufo-Addo was going to become, and it was important for them to get a young man who was going to pull up the numbers and who was going to be very relevant to the young people. It didn't work. Spielgarber's results ended this way. Professor J.E.A. Mills came up with 1,362 delegates voting for him, representing 81.4% of the votes. Ambassador Spielgarber came out with a paltry 146, representing 8.7% of the votes. Is that a contest, viewers? This is not a contest. This is a landslide. It's organized. That's what Mustafa Gbande says is consensus. So Mills became the candidate for 2008. 2012, and again, we've used a photograph of John Mahama in 2012. 2012, John Dramani Mahama was a candidate. I have to say this for Asiedu Nketia. I really have to say this for him because I was there. When Professor Mills fell, unfortunately, and the conversation began in August. In August 2012, the election was December. Akufo-Addo was already on the campaign. In fact, Akufo-Addo was in Western Region when Professor Mills died on 24th July. Because when I was told the story, incidentally, I've said it many times, the call came to me from the current deputy managing director of the Ghana Tourist Authority, Abeku Santana. Him and I were doing a lot of stuff together in those days under David Lamte. Abeku called me and he used to call me senior. I said, senior, what has happened? I said, no. And he said, now when? I said, oh, I'm on the site. He said, into what? I said, no, tell me what has happened. He said, no, I said, hey, what is going on? He said, Professor Mills has passed though. I said, hey. I looked at my watch, it was 2:35 something. I quickly went into my car, turned on the radio, and Difa Bampo was crying on Joy FM. I said, what the matter tonight? Hey, what is going to happen? I called my friends MPs. They said, yes, Parliament has been summoned for the inauguration of the president at 8 p.m. I said, I started getting calls from my friends in Reuters, in London, abroad, and say that, hey, what's happening? So what does the Constitution say? Then they'll say, okay, wait, let me write it down. Which article? Then I tell them it's article this, write it down. That's how the Ghana code, So I was there. Now, weeks after the burial, this conversation came up. Spielgarber's name was emerging again. And they said they should go to contest to elect. It was Johnson Asiedu Nketia who said no contest will happen. John Mahama is the president. he's going to be our candidate. We are not going to do any contest. I remember that. I wonder how Asiedu Ketia will feel now that he wants to become, and it is John Mahama who is saying he shouldn't become. I really wonder how Asiedu Ketia will feel, because he stood for John Mahama. He gave it for John Mahama. He laid down his general secretary for John Mahama. He convinced Wayose, the chairman of the party, convinced everybody that we are not going to have any contest. We are going to elect John Mahama. Asiedu Ketia apparently went to Asante to tell the overlord of Asante that this is the decision the NDC are taking. He got a lot of support from there. And so they moved the Congress to Kumasi Sports Stadium, where John Mahama was endorsed as the party's candidate. No contest again. 2012, John Dramani Mahama, the NDC candidate. And then he won the election. And then 2015, John Mahama was returned. Of course, he's a sitting president. He was returned for the 2016 election. Now, let's see what happens after that. 2019, some of the apostles of consensus, the cadres, like the Honorable Joshua Alabi, then said that, oh, we are tired of this NDC every day. We don't do contest. This time there, we have to challenge John Mahama. By his opposition leader, we can all come in. Alabi came in. Guzitano came in. Alban Bagwin came in. But the NDC demonstrated again that they had the power of consensus. Everyone had united behind John Dramani Mahama. The argument was that he had been on the ballots before. He's been marketed to Ghanaians. Charlie, forget about it. Look at Akufo-Addo. Stature. Akufo-Addo is going again in 2020. Akufo-Addo has been in politics from 75. You are going to challenge him in a second term. You are going to bring some new person. No. It has to be John Mahama. How are you going to explain to the people that Joshua what? Alban Bagwin what? That's what they were saying. That's what they're saying. The Congress was a trade fair. I was there. I was worried from my 2002 experience to be at the NDC Congress. So in the night, in the preparation to the Congress, I called Stan Dogbe that where is he? And he said he's at trade fair. They are putting stuff up. I said, I'm coming there. So I drove there. I was teasing them. They were putting their things up, beautiful setup. And I could feel that night that John Mahama is gone with it. So let's look at the results. John Mahama won 213 delegates votes, 487. Joshua Alabi won 3,404. John Mahama came up with 95.23%. 95.23%. Joshua Alabi 1.52%. Is that a contest? Viewers, tell me if that's a contest. Of course, that's not a contest. And this is the point we're making. Then we go to 2022. I was at the launch of Kojo Bonsu's campaign at Academy of Arts and Sciences. And I was chatting with a few people. And I said, but is Kojo going to make an impact, my brother? And they said, oh, NDC. John Mahama is going to win a huge margin. Dr. Dufour came in. He got strong support from Yabafo Jan, who had been a national organizer of the party and very strong in BA. He got support from this actor in Labadi. I can't remember his name. Wilfred Kwoko it is, yes. Wilfred Kwoko, very articulate guy. They had all supported Dr. Dufour and believed that John Mahama's time was up. But the establishment went the way NDC way, consensus. So check the results. Dr. Dufour eventually dropped out anyway. He dropped out because he couldn't even, the documentation was not working. The mafia was too much. Just the sheer mafia was brutal. So Dr. Dufour dropped out. Kojo Bonsu proceeded, and check out the results. John Dramani Mahama comes up with 297,000 delegates, vote 603. Kojo Bonsu comes up with 3,181. John Mahama's percentage shows as 98.9. Kojo Bonsu 1.1. That's the NDC for you. That's the NDC for you. So that's what Mustafa Bande means. And that's what we said. That if the NDC goes into a contest today, it will be the first time that the NDC is having a contest. It will be a first time. This is the first time the NDC is having. Give me the cast again, please. I think that's a better background for what I'm saying. It will be the first time that the NDC is going through a contest. This one, nobody is going to get 90 anything. Oh. Nobody is going to get 80 anything. Nobody is going to get 70 anything. Nobody is going to get 60 anything. Somebody will win by 52. Somebody will get 38. Somebody will get, it might even go into a second round. I've not checked the NDC constitution to be sure that they also elect on a second round. Sometime in the past, forgive me, I didn't talk about 2013, the Sunyane one. Again, I was there. Nana Kunido Ajiman Rawlings, I don't like talking about her because her passing really pained me. I mean, it was so unexpected. I mean, I was late for the funeral that day. So when I got there and I asked which dignity, so Mrs. Rawlings was here, John Kufuor was here and all that. And the next morning, Mrs. Rawlings has passed. It was so painful. So it will take a while before I can talk about Mrs. Rawlings and politics again. Really, really sorry. And I'm really sorry to her daughters and her son, her family. It was very bad. Really sorry. May she rest in eternal peace. Great woman. She gave me my first big interview in 2002. It was very good as a former First Lady. I really salute her. Rest in peace, Mrs. Rawlings, until we meet again. Now, let me get back to this one. So nobody's going to get any 70 anything if this contest happens. But that is why Mustapha Bande doesn't want the contest to happen. Because this will be truly the first time that the NDC is presenting itself for this democratic malady, which they have been able to overcome many times. They will not be able to overcome it anymore. This time they have to face the bullet, bite it, eat it, swallow it, and hope that the Ghanaian people will return them to power. I will not vote for them, but they must hope that the Ghanaian people will return them to power. This is the story. This is the story we've been talking about. I hope that Inus Afuseni is listening to Mustapha Bande. I hope that Hamza Suhini has heard Mustapha Bande. I hope they'll call me tomorrow and say that you were right, but I'm sure they will not. But this is the point we are making. Our thesis always come out of research. We don't do thesis from our sentiments and all that. We do have sentiments and we do have political sentiments and we do express them. But when we make statements of facts, it's coming from a thesis, antithesis, and a synthesis. Mustapha Bande again, and I'll be back. Bande.
One of the surprising...
Is the party up for election? Who told all these things that NDC is going to go through election? I don't know, but I'm just saying that what if we don't open the party up for election? It's a shame. Because the NDC, we don't know elections. The NDC is a tradition that is founded on consensus building. We are not MPP. And we must not allow what the MPP is doing to go into our head.
Bang, bang, bang.
Nia Kosono is creating suspicion among us. Unam kra na ese wo ye we nipa. Unam hwa na ese wo na ubu awe. Me obi di sade ne ba me so antokwa abesu nya.
Bang, bang, bang.
Obi di sade ne ba so. Because I will not allow anybody to align me to short visions. Now there are two clear things that we are doing. We have to satisfy the party people. And we have to make sure the president succeeds. Look, it doesn't matter all these people. Anybody who becomes a leader of the party without President Mahama, you lose.
It's always a pleasure. I resume my seat. Let's take a short break. When we come back, we have a final story for you. It's 1 minute to the top of the hour, 11 o'clock. And thank you for staying with us. This is Good Evening Ghana and it's live.
Your bottle and unleash the taste of Storm Energy Drink. A bold flavor, a big attitude, feel the vibe, own the moment. It's your time to be different. Storm Energy Drink, make your mark. Excessive drinking can be detrimental to health, not recommended for persons under 18 years, lactating mothers, pregnant women, and people sensitive to caffeine. This advert is FDA approved.
Looking for the ultimate oil city getaway? Welcome to the Groove Esipon Beach Resort, where luxury meets adventure. Host your meetings and events in our fully equipped conference facility. Relax our sparkling pool, unwind in cozy rooms, satisfy your cravings at our scenic restaurant, and enjoy fun-packed recreational activities and a walk through our charming menus. Whether it's business, pleasure, or pure escape, the Groove is your perfect destination.
Launching. BSc Development Economics at the Ghana Christian University College. Study a job-ready university program, BSc Development Economics at the Ghana Christian University College. Job is ready for graduates who possess degrees and certificates in BSc Development Economics, professional certificate in Theoeconomy, certificate in Theoeconomy with business. Enroll at the Department of Theology and Economics at the Ghana Christian University College, Amrahia, Adenta Dodua Road, Accra. Full bursary is available for BSc Development Economics graduates to study master's program at a state university in South Africa. Enroll now. Take advantage of this opportunity to join elite professionals in economics. Call 0557 351 090 or 0575 633 307 or 030 296 0542. WhatsApp us on 0557 351 090 or you can get in touch online on www.theoeconomy.edu.gh. Powered by the Center for Theology and Economics, CTEC.
Can he tee up someone in red? And it goes towards...
Too much, sir!
That's who goes for.
What's 5 Champions League? You want to know? I be the real goat, chairman. I be the real goat. The left magician.
Who is the goat? Ghana Jollof or Nigerian Jollof?
Ghana Jollof has no co-equal. The smell alone. Oh my God.
No, that shift. You two they lie, eh? Now the same stew when they use cook the rice and then they go put them for top. Hey!
You are lying. Ghana Jollof.
Are you busy? Forget everybody, yeah?
My guy.
Put some respect on the goat.
On the goat. The only goat I know lives in Tama.
Every year, we dey give to you back.
We are talking about PET. I want to hear the face.
Except be the goat, huh?
My guy, he be the goat.
Though our choice of goats may differ in football, music, and jollof, Alomo Bitters always brings us together. Alomo, experience greatness in every moment.
Drink responsibly. Not for sale to persons under 18 and recommended to pregnant women. This advert is FDA approved.
One more story. I have 2 stories, but producer says I should drop one, and they are my bosses when it comes to when it's 11 o'clock. They are my bosses. This I should drop one, so I'm dropping one. I'll do one more. But let me take 2 text messages from ladies, and then we'll come back. Fatih first, though.
Right, thank you, Paul. So Algona Isaac says, Mr. Paul, tell Haruna and Atofos and Julius Debra that we, the NDC grassroots, have decided on General Mosquito and nothing can change that. General E.L. Clement says the NDC has traditionally preferred consensus building over competitive internal elections. However, the weakness this time is that the party was built too heavily around GM without grooming enough strong alternative leaders over the years. That is why a proper internal election has now become necessary to give delegates the chance to choose and help strengthen the party's future leadership. And lastly, coming from Yalfabri says, Haruna Iddrisu shifting camp to support Chairman Johnson Asiedu Nketia bid as NDC flag bearer to election 2028 is an excellent decision of his because for the current state of the Ghanaian economy, Chairman Johnson Asiedu Nketia is going to win over any contender which some group are pushing the bid of him, Honorable Haruna Iddrisu, to contest. Therefore, if he has not thought of that, he should start to lobby to pair Chairman Johnson Asiedu Nketia. Also, Honorable Haruna must know Dr. Bawumia is going to emerge the winner of 2028 elections, so he may get the chance to lead the NDC as flag bearer in the subsequent elections. What do you have for us, Akira?
Sylvia Abraham says, I thought the NDC had all the knowledge on how best to handle presidential primaries. Why are they having problems now? When it was the NPP, they had all the information and knowledge on how to go about it, even though they themselves have not done anything. Ghanaians and NPP are watching. Coming from Master Planner Jr., he says, Mustafa Gbandi said something we are not paying attention to. He said he won't allow anyone to align him with a short-term vision. Could that mean no potential candidate in the NDC has a longer-term vision? Indeed, 2028 is just around the corner, and defeat awaits them. Dr. Bawumia will be the next president of Ghana in 2029. These are the comments coming from our social media pages. Over to you, Paul.
Okay, welcome back to the touchscreen. Our final story. Please bear with us. We'll finish. It's a very worrying story, okay? Very, very worrying story. On the screen here, I have Mr. Daniel Ofori, his lawyer, Mr. Chikata, the Lord Chief Justice, Mr. Justice Bafuboni, and the former Chief Justice, Gertrude Tokono. Now, in 2008, Carl Bank did a capital call, what the investment bankers call a capital call. So a capital call is where you have set up Paul Adumotre Industries, okay? And Paul Adumotre Industries is valued at 100,000 Ghana cedis. And we start working as Paul Adumotre Industries. After a while, Paul Adumotre Industries wants to acquire an AstroTurf in Kwamo, in the Ashanti region, or maybe Fumesa, or Tikrom, any of those villages, the Joso district. And the AstroTurf cost 300,000 Ghana cedis. Paul Adumotre Industries total 100,000. In the 100,000, Paul Adumotre is 60% shareholder, so 60,000. And then the other shareholders, 5, 10, 10, whatever, making 100. But the industries of Paul Adumotre now needs 300,000 to purchase the AstroTurf for Fumeswa and Tikrom. So we do a capital call. We are a listed company. So we go on the stock exchange and say we are raising money. Okay. So if we're able to raise the 300,000, Paul Adumotre's 60,000 cedis is no longer 60%. It reduces. That's basically what those of us who are not investment bankers can understand with a capital call. So Carl Bank did a capital call. The purpose of the capital call was to allow some minority shareholders, was to perhaps exit some minority shareholders and strengthen some other shareholders. So it got into a difficult political situation. Mr. Faridonko at the time was Ghana's ambassador to China, and he was the founder of Carl Bank. Okay, it's very painful when founders now see that their shares are dissipating and they feel it's because of corporate boardroom machinations. Faridonko, sorry, excuse me, viewers. Faridonko wanted to have control of the boardroom as he used to have it, and he also wanted to remove the managing director, Mr. Frank Idu. So the capital call came up. There's a book on this written by a young man called Ebenezer Mankwa, who is Ebenezer Mankwa, I believe now works with Tallow Oil. Ebenezer has written a book about this on the Carl Bank situation. Thank you. Okay, so the capital call occurred. Mr. Opom Bio, or if you like Opom Bio, that's him, Mr. Opom Bio. He was very, very much involved in this conversation. So Opom Bio decided to buy the shares of Carl Bank. Let's get back to the main cast. Opom Bio decided to buy the shares of Carl Bank from one of the big shareholders. Mr. Daniel Ofori here is an important shareholder and deals in the stock exchange quite a bit. So Mr. Opom Bio decided to borrow money from EcoBank to buy the shares of Mr. Daniel Ofori so that the shares of Opom Bio and his group, the Faridonko group, will push up a little bit so that in spite of the capital call, they will maintain an appreciable share that puts a Faridonko on the board of Carl. Afaridonko was very desperate to remove certain people from the board of CAL, like Malcolm Pry, who was a South African. And there's a guy called Guru Dobo, who was in there somewhere. Afaridonko was very upset with the whole situation. Mr. Fred Owari was also the founder of CAL with Afaridonko. He was part of it, but Owari was not as passionate about the changes they wanted to make as Afaridonko was. So Afaridonko hired Databank, Ken Ofori-Attah's Databank, to broker the deal and to support Opombio to obtain the shares of Mr. Daniel Ofori. Okay. So the transaction was ongoing. Daniel Ofori had given up his shares on paper, signed the shares out to Opombio because Opombio was about to receive the money from EcoBank. Okay. So Daniel Ofori had done his part of the work, giving the money, the shares to Opombio. Opombio was now to give Daniel Ofori cash. Sometime during the transaction, the Bank of Ghana stepped in and cancelled the whole transaction. The Bank of Ghana terminated the EcoBank loan going to Opombio to go to Daniel Ofori. Bank of Ghana cancelled it. 2008. Then Daniel Ofori got upset, naturally, that you have come to me that I come to buy shares. Come and buy my shares. I've given my shares to you. I tell me that EcoBank have cancelled the transaction. I'll sue you. Ofori went to the court and took out a writ. I don't remember whether Chachuchi Kata was his first lawyer, but Chachuchi Kata is his lawyer for the last 5-6 years. And sued EcoBank, Bank of Ghana, Daniel Opombio. I believe he even sued Fred Owari. Former Presidential Secretary Asante Bedioto was one of the key lawyers in there. So this was the matter. Ofori says, I have given up my shares. I will take nothing than specific performance. Give me my money. Bank of Ghana says, EcoBank, you cannot advance that money to Opombio. Legal battle since 2008. So Daniel Ofori goes to High Court, says that I've sued all of them. High Court says you cannot sue EcoBank. What has EcoBank done? EcoBank are working under a regulator. The regulator says they can't do the deal. You still have your shares. Take it. What's the problem? Daniel Ofori loses the case at the High Court. Ofori loses the case at the Supreme Court. Ofori wins the case at the loses the case at the Court of Appeal. Sorry, High Court and Court of Appeal. He loses. Ofori wins the case at the Supreme Court. Anyway, tussle is going on, writ after writ. EcoBank is filing counter claims, filing upon filing. Then, whilst Justice Tokonu has moved from the Court of Appeal to the Supreme Court, she has had some dabbling with the case at the Commercial Court where she was. And you know that Justice Tokonu was one of the foremost brains of the Commercial Court and all of that, together with Barbara Kayisu and others. We remember all of that. So Tokonu now becomes Court of Appeal judge. Tokonu now becomes Supreme Court judge. Tokonu now becomes the Chief Justice. Daniel Ofori and others are upset about some of the decisions of Tokonu in this EcoBank saga, because Daniel Ofori is looking for his money. The High Court says you can't have the money, but the Supreme Court has ruled for him. Then EcoBank go to courts alleging fraud and say that, but Daniel Ofori is still taking dividends from his shares. The shares that he said he has sold, when we send him dividends, he collects it. So he has the shares. So what has he lost? And therefore, they are alleging that Daniel Ofori has fraudulently claimed or is fraudulently claiming money from EcoBank. By this time, a calculation has been done. Please get me the details of the ruling, the calculation, what's going to happen as the Supreme Court have ruled down. A calculation has been done about Daniel Ofori is adding more. EcoBank have wasted his time. He wants 13% of this, blah, blah, blah. Enter lawyer Chachuchi Kata in the matter. Clashes emerge between Chachu and Tokonu during case hearings. It is believed that Tokonu, as a Supreme Court judge, even before she became Chief Justice, as a Supreme Court judge, has influenced other judges to think along her line. Tokonu is coming from a very sophisticated commercial law background. She's telling the judges some of the new decisions that have been made. All of those things will not allow Daniel Ofori to collect his money. Tokonu believes that the High Court judgment and the Court of Appeal judgment are correct in law and in fact and in reality, and that you're not going to allow somebody to just collect money from EcoBank, a bank in which the government has shares, just collect money from EcoBank because he wants to collect money from EcoBank. For all of these reasons, there are many suggestions that Tokonu gets on the wrong side of Daniel Ofori. Election 2024. NDC win power. Daniel Ofori is a petitioner for the removal of Justice Tokonu. Daniel Ofori is a petitioner for the removal of Tokonu. Who is Daniel Ofori's lawyer in the Tokonu removal petition? Lawyer Chachu Chikata. Tokonu shows up at the hearing, okay? And Daniel Ofori has petitioned. Lawyers for Tokonu, led by Ayukwe Otu, said that, fair enough, he's petitioned. Bring Daniel Ofori to the room so that we can cross-examine. Chairman of the panel, Supreme Court Judge Gabriel Poorman, says, no, Daniel Ofori will not come. You can't ask him any question. The petition lying in front of you, deal with it. Ayukwe Otu is very upset. And what is this? Where is all the time pattern? What's happening to it? What is going on? How can a petitioner be shielded? Let the petitioner come before the trial and let me ask him questions. That doesn't happen. Tokonu gets out of her way to conduct a press conference, a rare and an unusual press conference arising out of an Article 146 proceedings. Tokonu holds the press conference anyway. Many of us supported the Tokonu's decision to hold a press conference on this matter. And she tells the world that this is what is happening inside the Article 146 petition, which is being held in camera. Away from the cameras, that's what it means, secret. That's what the Constitution says anyway. So, Tokonu is eventually removed and replaced by the next senior most judge, His Lordship, Mr. Justice Paul Bafuboni. The Supreme Court had heard that matter on Daniel Ofori. EcoBank have a matter pending in the High Court, as we are told, about the so-called claim of fraud that Ofori is still receiving dividend. Now, today, the Supreme Court gives a ruling. Let's see what the Supreme Court gave in the ruling. What are they? Okay. So, businessman Ofori sues EcoBank. The Supreme Court today ruled in favor of Daniel Ofori's favor, saying he should get 30% monthly compounded interest on his investment from June 2008, when he first invested, until 25 July 2018. After that, he should also get 13.5% yearly interest until EcoBank pays him fully. EcoBank, after the 2018 judgment, discovered that Ofori never actually sold his CalBank shares through them, even though the case was argued as if he had. In fact, they allege that Ofori had been collecting dividends, profits paid to shareholders on those shares since 2008. EcoBank says this means the judgment was obtained by fraud because the court wasn't told Ofori was still the owner of the shares. EcoBank thus sued at the High Court to attempt to set aside the Supreme Court's decision on grounds of fraud, which matter is still pending. The fraud case about Ofori secretly keeping dividends whilst claiming he sold the shares is still ongoing in the High Court. Meanwhile, the Supreme Court says the earlier judgment in Ofori's favor should still be enforced, despite the pending challenge in the courts below. Some legal analysts believe that this is part of the reasons why Justice Tokonu had to go. We don't know whether that's true or not. Some people believe that this is it. What was the quorum for the courts that was held today? So the courts today was Amadou Tanko was leading. I can see Justice Jamefe and the new judge Amali Boba. There's Justice Lawson. This was the five that gave the decision that in spite of an ongoing matter at the Court of Appeal, at the High Court, Daniel Ofori should have his matter. The question that political analysts are asking is, should we draw a correlation between the removal of Justice Tokonu by a petition from Daniel Ofori, guided by Mr. Chikata, and the ruling of the courts today? I don't know. Should we draw a correlation between it? That the removal of Justice Tokonu by a petition from Daniel Ofori, and you will realize that Gabriel Poorman told the public, did he, or a statement was issued. Ayukwe Otu came to complain that they were still on the two other petitions. There were 3 petitions filed against Justice Tokonu. The committee was still looking at 2 other petitions. They had finished with the Daniel Ofori petition. We're looking at 2 other petitions. And then they suddenly were told that the president has granted the decision of the Article 146 committee to remove Justice Tokonu based only on the Daniel Ofori petition. Ofori was not allowed to come in to be cross-examined by Tokonu's lawyers on this matter, because if he did, it will go into the record. Another government will come and pick up the Article 146 proceedings and will find it. So Ofori didn't come. This is the story. What do you make of it? Ghana, my happy home. Land of rich resources. Land of mighty talents, racial tolerance, justice and freedom. I will die for thee, Mother Ghana. I will strive for thee. Is that what we are doing? Ghana, my happy home. I leave it here. 21 minutes past the top of that, 11 o'clock. This was Good Evening Ghana. It comes back on Thursday. Thank you very much for watching. Good night, viewers.
Metro TV, insightful and inspiring moments.